Sorry guys, we have a couple of buttons to make sure they're being clicked, and it's true that if I click them now, it's going to be a matter for afterwards. So who do we have?
We have England Knights into Hungary. So they're both off a fresh win, both feeling eager, both wanting to take each other down. They're just going through the matchup process at the moment and assigning tables.
This is very confusing. They all have the same colors.
Yeah. I suppose we just need to look out for the blue parts for the England, but other than that, they are very similar. So just to run through the list, we've actually got some of the. Half the technology has fallen over, but the bits that work, we're trying to get there. So this is England Knights. We have Alex Austin with Mercenaries.
And he's playing, what is playing?
So he's got Thexus and Ostrom, so it's actually pretty much the same as
he
saw in the previous game.
Oh, he has the double.
Yeah, he's actually got the
one battle engine.
Yeah, that seems to be the pair in Mercenaries at the moment. You've got the.
I've seen a list with two battle engines, seems to be working pretty fine.
But yeah, Thexus. I think Thexus is there just for, and all you mercenary players out there can obviously tell me I'm wrong, but I think he's there just for like the crits matchup, all the either sight, all the sprays.
It's just many models on the board, and then you have to deal with those models. And if you can't win, you clock yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are we online actually?
I think so.
I see we have viewers, but I don't see we have a feed. Can you refresh your canvas maybe? Can you guys hear and see us, or are we just talking? I think it's working actually. It might have been our own screen that was stuck somewhere. It's working. Perfect.
Okay.
And we only got one viewer. It's fine, we can still talk, and it's going to be recorded for later since we clicked the recording button.
We did.
It's awesome. Do you think the viewer is actually you?
It might be.
Cool.
Oh no, there's 13.
Much better. Okay.
Much better. We're not crazy people talking to ourselves now, which is
anyway. So we have those two.
So we've got the two lists. So obviously we'll see what the matchup is, but they're fairly competitive list there, I think. We've then got Chris, Andy McBurney.
As you can see, I could have bet it was. I could have said, hey, you know what? I think it's going to be Ghostflick Dark Coast.
Yeah. Well, and Denny and Coven.
It's Ghostflick.
I have bashed my face into these lists so many times. There's so many different lists.
The only thing I see here is that he has a Min-Ben Rider and two Seether. And okay, that's not the one I've played against the most, but fine.
I can imagine, and I don't know what's going on in Andy's head for it, but I'd imagine at the moment, being the meta choice, the thing that you'll see, there's probably a lot of things that are appearing to be the answers for those meta choices. So it might be that having that extra heavy in there means that
enough focus to
two less riders. The extra heavy now means that you can trade a bit better with things that might actually see.
You have one less arc node though, so I don't know. I like to have my arc nodes with Kommand just in case.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
It should be fine because
I'm sure he's got something in mind. I think that's the thing at the moment. All the Crix players now will have to have played into stuff that's designed to see Crix, because the likelihood of them seeing it here is much greater, because it's not just a random person they're playing against. They're going to get the pairing process, and they'll likely have at least two people put against them with an answer.
I guess we're going to have to move a bit faster now because I
think they are actually starting to look at tables.
They're already speaking tables, so I'm just going to go quickly for the list while you get it started. Okay. So, then we have Ben Robinson with Khador, and he is playing either Kharchev1, Jozef the Wolf, or Butcher1, Winter Guard Command.
Both of them just one.
Yeah, it's just, okay, ton of Winter Guards.
Double gun carriage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's really powerful.
I think that is I want to shoot you, you get anywhere near me, which comes in. That seems fair. And then Kharchev and all the jacks ready to murder stuff. With some shooting as well, though. Sorry? He's got some shooting in that Kharchev list as well. Normally you don't see the destroyers. You normally just go for the spam.
Probably, one of the things with Kharchev is that if you're like range list, you can probably try to dance around a little bit, so you can have better positioning. But with those destroyers that are range, I think it's range 14, power 14?
Yes.
This is nothing to sneeze at, especially. Yeah, so it's going to put a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
So you have to take those into consideration. and then beat him up in Devastator again on the battle group itself.
Yep,
that's something. Okay, moving on. Right? Oh, sorry, unless you wanted to say
Grymkin. Oh no, that's cool. So we got James Sykes with Grymkin.
That's the one we want to go to look at, right?
I love me Grymkin.
Brand new faction.
King of
the
nothing.
King of nothing. I thought everybody would play in the child.
See, this is the thing. Like, I've started and I love the child. I'm a massive child fan. Obviously, we know that Pat's a big Heretic fan. We've got people out there that are big Dreamer fans. And then the other side of the scene I've seen is the King of Nothing fan. So it's like people just seem to have like gravitated towards something. And I think at the moment it's too soon for there to really be total dominant. This is the pairing. I mean, one old witch isn't even out yet, so she's not able to be in the pairs. So I think at the moment it's more what people gravitated towards, what they feel comfortable with, and what they works into. But I mean, that's a horrible. I mean, look at that. That's what 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 beasts.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah. So
well, some of them are Crabbits.
Yeah, but with the King of Nothing, like he loves all beasts. Like his passive is if a beast dies, he gets to cast a spell, which means he can just zip across the board. His Trump Arcana is every time you kill a model in his battle group, it does D3 damage to that model and D3 damage to D3 models nearby. And it's not nearby, sorry, it's the closest models on the board.
It's just nearby, so it could be like 10 inches away.
It could be 10 inches, it could be the other side of the board if that's the closest enemy model.
Okay, I understand now. That's
so yeah.
very
So
frightening.
actually looking at it as well, so with the clouds, with that, he's got 3 Rattlers, which is
So this is basically something that would go against infantry, right?
Yeah.
That would like, kill my Crabbit, fine, I'm gonna kill a few of you guys.
Yep.
Rattlers
murder the world. And then he does still have the armor swing. He's got Karianna Rose, he's got his own armor buff, and he's got one of his spells as well. So yeah, even the Rattler can have a massive swing with the strength and that. So that's cool. And then obviously Dreamer, we love Dreamer. He's gone pretty heavy.
Yeah.
There as well. So as we were saying in the last
Swarms.
game, like Double Menagerie is the thing just due to the painting. Paint requirement to get here. You're not going to see many 60-man blood lists at the moment. So yeah.
So free skin and Moans for 15 points. It's an amazing beast.
Yep.
It does so many things.
Yep. They're going to basically be protected with cover, so Def 17 from shooting. I mean, that I think will probably be something you see, depending on who he goes up against. You can tend to see if you think there's going to be loads of infantry, the Kingdom think, guns and stuff, we're probably thinking of the Dreamer, or stuff that if there's over armor, kind of thing. So, right, I think all the pairs are down, so I'm going to go
talk a little bit about Norbert.
Yeah, so you carry on through the list. I'm going to go find all the pairings,
Cool.
and then we'll see how we go from there.
Fun. Here.
Yeah.
What team? England, Hungary. We don't have any more questions. Let's continue go through the list. So we have Strike of 2. So I don't know a lot of a Strike of 2 personally. I know that I've seen him on it's been a lot of players. I mean, a couple of European players actually choose that caster. I'm not actually sure what he's doing, so I'll wait for Chris to come back. I will see which game is actually being on the stream here. It might be this one, maybe not. And Vlad won Winter Guard with all the Winter Guards that I know about. Basically, it's you put Vlad in the middle, you push the button, assign importance, and then you have all of your range attacks starting to really matter and really restart, putting holes through things. And that's how it's played, and cheap jacks. So there's that. Oh, yeah, we're good. Thank you. Next, Team Hungary. I'm probably going to butcher his name again. We have Arpad Ronai, he's playing mercenary as well, like one of the players in the English team. First league, the Kingsmaker's Army, with Magnus 2, something I haven't seen played in ages. So Freebooter, Nomad. Renegade, the Renegade being the special Warjacks for Magnus that he can knock through, and has this one-time rocket I can use and just put everything down, whatever it is. The remake, Kalbela, Orin Midwinter, Boom Mallers, Steel Brigadiers, Trencher Infantry. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, like if the player actually chooses to play Magnus. Although it's much more likely that he's going to play Ostrom with all the bunnies, the guns, the Bidle Giants, very resilient Bidle Giants for the dwarf faction here. So I don't know if he's going to play the Kingsmaker Army anyway. I don't know if he has a special plan about it. I don't really see what he's going to do with Magnus 2, but I'm not savvy enough with this caster to know actually what could be going on. Then we have Sabamile. He's playing Khador, Legion of Steel, Strike of 2 again, and Butcher1 with the Winter Guard. So Strike of 2 again, I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to comment a lot on that, but Winter Guard Command, so I guess the idea here with Butcher1 and his feet is to say, okay, whatever I'm going to eat, I'm going to destroy. So we have Jozef to give a little bit more of bonus for the Winter Guard to eat the targets, and then whatever is going to be hidden within the Butcher's feet is basically going to be destroyed. So and we have 2 gun carriage. So yeah, there's a lot of lists with just 2 Battle Giants rolling, and seems to be a thing, especially those 2, like the Cardinal ones and the Mercenary ones. They're very resilient, they have a lot of boxes, they have a lot of armor, and they just shoot very well. And, whatever they do, it's really annoying for the opponents. And we have Gabor Wolf, he's playing Khador as well. Soldier 1 and Butcher 3. So Winter Guard Command, Soldier 1. I guess this one is the other way, the other strategy we can have with Winter Guard probably, just moving up with Soldier, feeding, moving back with the spell that she has, I don't remember the name, and just shoot everything. And Butcher 3 seems to be, I'm not going to say standard, but something we've seen pretty much all of time before. Butcher 3, Warjacks, Mechaniks, and Widowmaker Scouts. So pretty standard, I would say here for at least for Caroline player. And then we have Lauren, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to say his name right. Soveniazi. He's playing Legion of the Blight. So Lilith 3, Oracle of Annihilation. Looking at the list, Lilith can pull out a very good assassination game, as when she feeds everything that is being hit by whatever she hits, basically is going to be stationary. Then you can just continue shooting until the target dies. So I think it's probably going this way, but I'm not, again, that's not something I've seen for quite some time, so I'm not really sure. And Callus 2, one of the loudest warcasters for Everblight, which has this fine tendency of putting everything in fire. With again battle group heavy, and we have the Blighted Nis Eccentrics. Again, very sorry, I'm not really savvy enough into the team force here. There's probably something I can't see, and yeah, so we'll check if we have to stream that table. Actually, I'm going to go very quickly on the last list. I think they're pretty much ready to go. Zoltan Brow, last player for the Hungarian team, playing Ouroboros. So Una 2 and Kruger 1. Una 2 with all the Griffins, and so this is not team list, it's a default list. So basically the Mannequins to move out, remove all the infantry threats, and the Griffins that within Una 2's feats can become really powerful and hit like trucks and just destroy Gargants and Colossus. So that's pretty cool. Also most all those beasts, they have a very high defense 15, so adding Vongai Snapjaw here doesn't feel like a bad idea. Like you can actually put Stalkers up, and then you have to hit defense 15 with you get your highest stats removed, so that's something. Then Kruger 1, the Wild Hunt. Again, I should have done my homework before. I think it must be the list with the Wolf unit that came from Ambush. And World Wheel, Storm Raptor. Oh, it's the Storm Raptor. I want to see that model, though it looks a bit grayish. That feels something that would be, done to remove a lot of infantry. So I think the specific lists, and it seems that the Storm Raptor is actually on a table. So we might actually have some information about that game and see how the Storm Raptors fares, or maybe just there as a prop. I don't know. But that would be interesting to see what happens with the Storm Raptor and all those shooty things that this list has. Okay, and Chris is probably going to come back in a few moments. I'm going to go to the, if I can get this working, the table cam. So we're going to be looking at a game between Khador and Grymkin, which is very interesting. I don't think Grymkin is a pretty new faction. I don't think a lot of people know exactly what this faction does. I'll have Chris talk about it because this is his main for now, and he's probably gonna have more insight than me. But basically, Grymkin is a reactive faction. It means that you have Arcanas and some kind of super Arcana, which is basically the Grymkin's feat that only procs. It only happens when you decide, but you have to. A condition must be filled on the battlefield to happen. So most of the time is this model get killed, or this model get killed this certain way, and then you're able to say, okay, I'm going to use my Arcana card and use this card. I'm going to say this is what's going to happen in the battlefield until the end of the turn or until the end of the round. So it could be Shroud on everybody, it could be Stealth on everybody, it could be I'm going to pop Heavy right here, and it's going to be, I'm going to be able to use it for some time. There's a lot of tricks this way, and it's a bit complicated because you have to, when playing against Grymkin, you really have to be aware of what your opponents might be able to start doing. And it's not just like you have your own list and you've been, you train this list for a while, and while you know everything is like, oh, I'm going to move it there, I'm going to this and that and this and that. Here you're going to have to think a little bit because you're in a situation where like, oh, if I start doing this, and if it procs that card, I'm maybe not going to be able to move or, have any of my models actually be able to do anything during that turn. So there is that. Which means that basically we have. So I'm trying to get my notes right here. We have James Sykes on the right side.
It's not my list. Well, I'm playing for somebody else. Yeah. And there's a.
Stop trying to make excuses.
These
These aren't my lists, it's a bad matchup for
How do
me.
you guys build an anti-Crix list with no fucking fire?
You're on Team Ireland, John. That's the question.
What's that? There's no fucking fire in that list.
Actually. How many are commercial SU1? I'm trying to get.
Yeah, it's really important to know,
So I think the caster is the king of nothing. I'm trying to see it on the board. We're gonna go for that for now. Yes. Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, we'll just have to play well. I'm gonna have a word with
And the game has started, and the Khador player spinning his battle engine in the middle. Give me just a couple of seconds to finish the layout here.
It's not into this, is it?
I guess I don't think there's going to be anything weird in this deployment. Yeah, caster in the center. We have a Mortar in the center as well.
So what I was complaining about is the fire. It would be very good.
So Chris will be back in a second. He's currently setting up all the cameras for all the stream, all the games, because we are recording all of those for the YouTube channel afterwards.
We'll make do with what we got. Yeah. His mother-in-law got very sick.
I think he made a miraculous recovery.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I did brought a hat. There was something actually before the before we both arrived. I think Chris said something about he would be able to bring an horse mask, and I thought that maybe that would be awesome if I could get a cowboy hat, but in the end didn't bring the mask, so nah, just me with the hat. Chris, you're back. I'm probably gonna...
The other one's broken as well. It's the same issue.
Sorry? Same issue?
Yeah. Right, so anyway, at least this one's working, which is all good. Right, so we have the matchups. So on the stream, obviously, we have here. Have you?
I think I got it right? Is this Khador 1 Butcher 1?
Yes.
Grymkin? That's how it's being spelled, right?
Yep. Yep, Grymkin. Always
Is it
thinking
the King of
nothing.
Nothing? I wasn't sure because I couldn't see, but there is only one skin and moon, so I guess
yes.
the right list. Cool. So,
that one's going.
actually, do you know which Arcana has been?
Nope. I will go see if I can see them because that's obviously important.
Yeah, there might be. So in the deployment, we see that the current player has put more heavies on the bottom of his deployment zone. So we see Rune and we see a heavy Warjack. I don't know what he chose for that. Probably with the terrain. Oh yeah, of course, because on the top zone there is an obstruction, and it's not going to be easy for the player to move those Warjacks around. So it's probably better just to have infantry in the top zone here and use your heavies in the bottom area.
No, just kick him.
Do we have any more foreign trades?
Oh, working out today.
Maybe we should close the window behind us. They have opened another one. Otherwise we might freeze to death.
Oh, there's bricks in the way.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, while I'm here, Ill Omens and Sacrifice are the two.
I don't know anything about. So
Okay,
what are
so
those?
I will go through those now.
Oh come on!
Stop getting attacked by a kid.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay,
I
so
can get all
now
of
we
the
won't have ice coming off us. So Sacrifice is a Arcana which triggers, and this is the important thing to watch when you're playing against Grymkin, is it triggers off a destroyed model. So if you can remove from play, you don't trigger it.
Oh,
Which is the important part that people forget. That people go crazy thinking, oh, am I not going to kill things? But there is actually ways around. And that's the thing about Grymkin, is that once you actually understand how they play, you can play around them. It's just, obviously, that's the whole thing. Is it kind of makes you a better War Machine player, because it makes you actually think about what you're doing, not just blundering into it. So yeah, basically what that means is when you destroy a model, every other model in the Grymkin Army heals completely.
so when you start eating on a beast,
Yep.
you have to finish it.
You have to.
And
So
not
there's two ways of playing around it. One is remove from play, because if you never actually destroy a model, they never don't get to trigger it.
triggers.
Or if you constantly just focus down one monster at a time, or one beast, or whatever, then they never get to trigger it because, well, it just won't do anything. So, worst thing to do is to, and this is kind of the thing about shooting armies and stuff like that. The worst thing to do is to just spread fire individually on a bunch of things, and then kill one thing, or even go to finish off a beast, because a lot of them have, and this is actually quite apt with this one, because they have Crabbits, which are shield guards. Crabbits only have armor 13. When they're next to the King of Nothing, they're armor 11.
So they die even faster.
They die even faster, so they are like the perfect targets to trigger Sacrifice with. So you just have to keep this in mind. It's one of those where it's like you can play around it. You just have to always keep it in mind. Ill Omens is one which is when you destroy a warrior model. It's -1/-1 for the rest of your force for attack and damage rolls. So effectively, again, it's the same thing as you. And that one's a bit harder to play around. But if you focus fire on the beasts first, then you. Yep, grievous wounds is also something to mention. For Sacrifice, if they can't heal, well then they can't heal. So that means now that everything's -1/-1, so you make sure that possibly you could do all your attacks into high defense targets first. So I've had this before where there was the opportunity to attack a Skinner Moans and attack a Cage Rager. So they made sure that they put the attacks into the Skinner Moan first, because the Cage Rager being Def 11,
it's not going to...
it's the going to Def 10 to Def 11 is not going to make much of a difference. So I mean, again, it's one of those. It's kind of like we say, it's like half a feat each ability, except it's. You have to trigger it. That's the big weakness, is that no matter how crap you might say a feat is, you always get to use it when you want to use it. Whereas Arcana, your opponent has to give the opportunity to do it, and it might not be.
What's the superpower of the King of Nothing?
So his Trump Arcana, and the main thing to keep an eye out with this is that Trump Arcanas, that what makes them special is that they normally trigger on both destroyed and removed from play. So because they obviously wanted, if you get an army which is 100% removed from play, they'll never get to use the trumps and stuff like that, or they'll have to use the different ones. So what his is when a war beast in the battle group is disabled. So at that point, it doesn't matter if it's destroyed or whatever. It's the first step. There's disabled. And it's in the Warlock's control range. King of Nothing has a 16-inch control range, so
pretty much all the time.
Pretty big. So what happens is the attacker and the D3 enemy models nearest. So again, as I said, if that is on one side of the board and the other side of the board, they will take it. They each suffer D3 points of magical damage. So this can absolutely tear through certain lists. So if you've got lots of individual infantry, that's obviously gonna just gonna die because they could be armor 1,000,000. Doesn't matter. They just take the damage. It's magical as well, which if you're playing into sort of cricks, that kind of thing, if you've got your Black Banes at the nearest target, suddenly all the Black Banes just start popping. And as we said, there was 11 beasts in this list. So
there's those Crabbits that basically are there to die, and that's it. The thing is, what I see here is that the Karianna player has a lot of heavies, something with a lot of boxes that he could actually, with the main of his army being shooting things, he can actually try to get those shooting units in the back and make sure that those big heavies are actually going to
absorb the damage. Yes. So again, that's as you said. You might go, oh no, this is destroy my army. And it's well, if you lead or if you make sure that the things that are nearest are multiple, wounds. That's the thing about Arcana.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, which everyone will be at the first few times they play, you're going to stumble into them. They're going to absolutely hurt. And from that point onwards, you just need to be aware of them, how to play around them, and then it gets a really interesting game. That's the thing I've loved about Grymkin so far, is there is never a boring game, because you and your opponent are constantly playing this sort of mini game, trying to trigger them and stuff. So
are you gonna trigger me? Not
yes. So anyway, we've got.
So I had a question. Something I wasn't really able to say by myself. This player, the Hungarian player, he had the choice between Strike of 2 and Butcher1. I am not sure what Strike of 2 actually does.
Okay, so Strike of 2 is a very infantry-focused caster. So that is in Legion of Steel, which is the IFP. So what that means is it's lots of armor 18, possibly the Black Dragons. She's got 2 units of Black Dragons, which can use Iron Zeal, I believe it's called. So it's +3 armor plus. Can't be knocked down, can't be made stationary for a turn. Add that onto Striker's Feat, which is +3 armor, tough.
Okay.
Can't be knocked down. Basically
so
you go
between 22.
Something like 20. I think it's 22. Yeah. They've all got precision strike. The Markov is in there, so they've all got. They can all go through each other. I can't remember the specific term for it. You've got the Great Bears, Markov, and he's got an Iron Fang Kovnik, and they're all with counter charge. Basically, that list is just a grind list, and you can see there you've got Strakov himself can make 2 clouds, the Kodiak can make 2 clouds, the Devastator itself, he's got an armor buff as well. He's got a spell that gives an armor buff, which you probably might have seen normally on the Devastator, because what you can then do is just literally run the Devastator, armor 25 into a zone, and just be like, it's just going nowhere.
Something that used to happen before the Mark II.
Just ignore that for the rest of the game, and then the entire army can focus on the second half of the table. It doesn't work against people like Haley, who just get it to punch something and open it and turn it around and all that, but against a lot of things, that is like a really good grind list.
So it's Assault, Commandos, Strike-Off, and Commandos, right?
Yes.
Because he has... Okay, so...
He has loads. He has
Yes, a ton of things.
He's got Last Stand, which means that any one of those can... I mean, it's one of those things where you won't generally see it, but when it's going to work... Like, it's one of those things where it's like, that thing there is the only thing that's stopping me from winning. Put it on one of the unit of Black Fangs, charge it in. Yes, they all die, but they all...
I'd remove what I wanted to remove.
Exactly, and you can even do crafty stuff with the Iron Fangs where you do a combined melee, and then only the one that does the attack is removed. So, you know, it's so flexible. He's got Quicken himself as well. So it's basically it's a really good grind list. And then obviously, I think what's obviously he's seen here is the whole way you work into the Grymkin is that even if he's armor 25 or wherever it ends up as, it doesn't matter if he pops his trump, because then he basically gets a walk, because he can't kill any of the beasts, because all the beasts are just going to pop through his armor, because it just takes the wounds. It's not
true. So
and also Grymkin, especially things like Skin and Moans, you're just giving them lots of corpses. Now, fair enough, you know, there's not a lot in there that's got corpses, but a Rattler, for example, will just murder its way through all stuff. So I think that's why he went for this list over that.
And we see the King of Nothing player. It just puts some clouds, right? Is something on these.
So he's got clouds. He's got Focus of Fury 8, so he can put out 4 a turn. If you were to kill Crabbit, which is the other bit that people don't really think through, is that say he leaves a gap and then you kill a member of the battle group, he can cast a spell when the battle group.
So he can just close.
He can just close the gap if you need to. So yeah, he's got lots of options. He's very flexible. I've yet to play him myself. I'm just having too much fun with the Child and Dreamer and Heretic and them. So and then when the Old Witch comes out, but yeah, you can definitely see his strengths there. The other side to it as well, which obviously is probably why he didn't drop Strike Off 2, is the Dread Rots. They get around tough, they just ignore tough.
Okay.
And they grab the corpses.
And they have Weapon Masters, so the plus 3 armor might not be so really.
Their weakness in this list is the fact that they've not got high armor, they're only armor 14. But that doesn't matter into the Strike Off list because it has no guns.
Yeah.
So you're now going to have a combat fight with someone that's Weapon Master 10 and ignores your tough. So yeah, I think that you can see definitely why these lists were chosen either side.
So nobody did the wrong pick. That was the.
No, I think they both obviously know. They're all definitely well practiced, and they know what's going on. So it should be quite interesting. So just while he's doing his advance, just give you an update on the other tables. So we have Dr. Norbert. Let me just rock up his lists into Zor. If I can find him. Well, that's what he had written on the back of his shirt.
Wasn't Zoltan?
No, there wasn't Zoltan. It must be through
Xor Legion, right?
Yeah, it must be. Why has he got Zor on?
That must be his nickname.
That must be his nickname.
And because he's only one Legion player, so I guess that.
Yes. So, just have a look. I will go and check that. Sorry, they were moving around when I was trying to fix the other stream, so I didn't get to see which they picked. But they are, so it's Legion versus Norbert. I'll give you an update on that in a bit. At the middle table, we have Andy McBurney into Circle.
I see the
Coven
Stormraptor on the board.
There is a Stormraptor on the board.
Is it actually being played?
It is actually being played,
awesome.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So this is... here we go. So this is it. Oh, wrong one. So this is against Zoltan, and he has Kruger 1. No, doesn't want to show you. Okay, so we have Kruger 1, and that's with a Moonhound, which grants the +2 to raised attacks.
The mark the target thing.
Yep. He's got a Rager for prime roll. He's got the Stormraptor, which I've got to admit, every time I see that in person, it's just beautiful. And then he's got 2 Rolled Weirds, so there's a definite shooting edge to that, obviously. And then he's also got he's got lots of leaps. He's got 2 wobbles, then a max unit of Reeves, Shifting Stones, and a max unit of Wolves for Ouroboros. So there's leaps in there. He's got his feet for control of the board. You know, he can just feet, kill the front line, block off the lines behind him. He's got all the millions of leaps on things from Storm Raptor.
It feels like something to just kill infantry right off the bat. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you putting guys here?
Yes.
No, they're not gonna stay.
And then Andy has obviously got the Witch Common list, which is Dark Host. So lots of Banes, as we were saying before, but with the 2 heavies. So that actually might, that might be something, because if he manages to get some of those seeders into the wolves or into the Reeves, Murderous is gonna just do a number on them.
Go on.
Oh, okay.
That's just a personal note.
Okay, fair enough. So that I think will be an interesting game. It kind of feels as though you still think Host is going to do it, because no matter how many guns. No matter how many guns you have into something, if you can't see it, you can't shoot it. So whether that keeps, that's the main crux for me. Whenever I've had a million plans and I'm like, this is gonna be brilliant, and then Coven pops feet, and you're like, can't even see. This is the funny thing that people forget as well. You can't even see your own models. So you try and cast a buff.
Yeah.
And if you're out 5 inches, you can't see your own models. Your line of sight is reduced to 5 inches. So, that's happened to me before. I've gone to buff one of my own models and had to check, and it's been 6 inches, because that's the buff.
The normal range.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's too late, mate. You already moved.
Yeah. E-Crippler's just asked, so we've got England Knights against Hungary showing at the moment, and I believe on the other stream we have Ireland versus I can't read what's on their shirts, so I'm not sure what's on the other stream, but it's definitely Ireland.
Well, we can look it up now.
Yeah.
We have enough electronics to look at the actual pairings on the official website.
Okay, just to crack on through for the other tables as well. We've then got Oxfam versus Texas.
Again?
Yeah. No, this is actually the two players. Obviously, I think they had mirrored lists. Are actually now.
So it was a question of who's going to
drop what. I couldn't call that one. I mean, I think that's going to come down because you've got so many bodies, all tough. You've got them on the right side. If he's got deflection up, he's at 17, which means
how many AoEs does the?
No AoEs, but he's got. Oh, actually, no. He's got two of the
Battle Giants, yeah.
But the thing is, with deflection up, all those dredges are armor 17.
That is true.
And tough.
So he should be fine.
Yes. Also, there is probably nothing in that army that struggles killing Jacks. So I really feel like that game's going to come down to whether Alex can get enough tough checks to go through. Because if those guns just don't kill enough, and he doesn't take down those monstrosities. What are they called, the Texas ones? They're called monstrosities, aren't they? Yeah. So if they manage to actually live through the barrage, which they might do, then he's just going to steamroll over them. But on the other hand, if all those guns and the dwarfs and everything manage to just keep ploughing off the front line each turn, and he never actually gets across the board.
Does he has like a unit? Is it the dwarf that are shooting, or is it the drug, or just eating
let us have a look. So I know Alex has had more normal dwarfs in. So his one is, so it's 2 blasters. So that for me is the key there. How well he gets to use those sprays. He's then got 4 gunners, which I actually think are going to be they'll be all right, but they're not going to be the greatest in the list.
Yeah, the thing is, like with Cephalix, the thing you really want to do is to kill the agitator or whatever the name of the thing is. But they all have sack balls. So the best way to do this actually to spell sing something at it, whatever that is, they usually die if you can eat them.
Yep.
But everything else is not going to work, and you're going to just sackboning things onto other models. Going to be armor 17 and tough. So it could happen for a long time.
He's got unit high shields, which again I think they're not going to do great because they're only power 10.
Are they going to have to? Yeah, they're going to have to combine.
So they're going to be like 8s, or even when they combine, it's still going to be 7s.
Well, you're going to have to combine for the mix. Yeah.
And then you've got tough. So you're getting
it's like
5 shots,
yeah,
which they could
4
tough.
deads probably. Not
Maybe,
even 3.
yeah, maybe 3. And then you have a min unit of Forge Guard there as well. So, and the Forge Guard are great once you get into combat, but you know it's Drudges. Drudges don't care. There's just more of them. And then now, I'm pretty sure there's a unit of them that can like replace themselves, like press gankers. So yeah, I would
if you have 2
imagine
drudges attacking one dude, like if I remember well,
they
the one that dies you
kill it.
can drudge. You need
Yes.
to have 2. It's not like just it was like Shanghai.
Yeah, it's not like
the
Shanghai.
press
It's-
gangers?
Yeah, I think it's got like operating theatre or something weird like that. So, so
wait.
that one, and then on the final table,
Just because something seems to be happening. So basically, just to go back on the game that we're streaming right now.
So it's turn 2 now.
Yeah, the King of Nothing just put a wall of clouds everywhere.
Yep.
And now the current player, it just took a couple of shots, I think, with his battle engine. I saw him, he was moving on templates, so maybe he was just looking at what would be the best thing to do. So return 2, that is true. And now I think the question is, from the current player, I have a shooting list. What am I going to do to be able to get some of those shots
Yep.
in the enemy army before they actually start getting into my lines and tore me to pieces?
Yep. Now the other thing as well is you'll notice that the things he can hit are Dreadrots, which is a great trigger for Illomens. So if for example, and there's no RFP. That's another thing. There's no RFP there. So what might happen is the blasts against, you know, all those beasts and stuff like that. You might think, okay, I'll just run something in, throw my own blast into the group of them. As soon as you kill Warrior model, Illomens is just -1 to everything. So suddenly it's like everything gets +1 armor, which can make a big difference on those blast models.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we can see like the Grymkin player. I think he played second, right?
Grymkin, yes. Grymkin player was
Because
second.
I would have done the same. Like there's this big obstruction on top of the map here, so you can just put your wall of clouds and be like,
Yep.
yep, I'm done. I have those things covered. So basically, I think the thing here is that he can keep Crabbit in 2 his zones, put the cloud walls, you know, on top every turn, and be scoring every turn.
I'm just having a look as well, and I think, right, okay, so we've got Ruin, and we have Butcher, and we have Obliteration. That is it for magical weapons. So you can see those medium bases, just the bottom where he's throwing that off. Right there, Gremlin Swarms. Oh, actually, that might be a Gorehound.
No, I think
the Gremlin
it's a
Swarm's
house,
behind it, yeah. So what will happen is you've got the bit behind the obstruction, which is basically just immune to everything. You can just stick a Gremlin Swarm there for the rest of the time. You're never going to get Ruin there. Butcher's never going to get there. There's no arc nodes to get around it. That zone, he could literally move. I'm surprised he's actually moved so far in that direction. Maybe he's trying to take it himself. But he could literally just Gremlin Swarm there and then just push the rest of the army further down. And vice versa, you know, it's going to come to the point where a Gremlin Swarm can just walk between 2 of the...
That's Slovenia, though.
Yeah,
And the
against
other
Slovenia.
game is Island Slovenia. Okay, that was the thing.
So yeah, so if I had the telestrator, at that point where the rectangular zone meets the circle, a medium base can just sit on that. And that's 2 zones contested, can do it the same the other side, and then at that point you've got to either commit Ruin, you've got to commit Butcher, or Butcher's got to cast Obliteration, which is a bit crazy. So so basically he can literally cut off, if he goes up where that top gun carriage is and he throws in Gremlin Swarm between those 2 zones, both of those zones are now contested. Ruin is on the other side of the table, Butcher is kind of nearby, but you know, at that point, is Butcher gonna use his magic ability, his fury to actually focus to actually cast Obliteration?
He's probably just not going to do it. So.
Yeah, so
As we see the Winter Guard on top, starting to take positions and probably shoot at the Dreadrots. As you said, if we can get a Gremlin Swarm on the top thing here, that's it. The game is going to be decided on the bottom piece and something. How many Gremlin Swarm does? 4.
Yeah.
On the King of Infinity has 4.
Yes.
So it's
You
fine.
always basically, if you've got a Dark Menagerie list, you'll have 4 Gremlin Swarms, because they come for free.
The way I see literally is that the Cannon player is going to have to move forward. It's going to have to put some of the gun carriages forward or those jacks to be able to contest, because that's the only thing basically is going to be able to throw in.
Yep.
And it's just the Grymkin player is going to be able to stand there and be like, you can't see me behind my wall, wall of clouds. My King of Nothing's probably going to get a bit closer, just make sure you get this -2 armor.
Yep.
And I'm just going to tore your thing to pieces.
And the other side to it as well is, in most matchups, Gremlin Swarms can become, they work for the Fury. They can take Fury off beasts at the start. They've got Serenity in that theme. That's one of the theme benefits.
Oh!
So they can be used to Fury manage. Also, they're obviously just pains in the ass to remove because they have annoyance. So all that inventory, once everything gets into a grind, they can just be a pain. Obviously, they're incorporeal, but that's how they work against everything. In this matchup specifically, they have 2 jacks, which they can just annoy the crap out of because they can damage and prevent damage healing.
Yeah.
Against jacks, and they can do it to battle engines as well. So those battle engines are just not going to be happy when this Gremlin Swarm just constantly follows it around, being a pain, doing damage every turn.
Since their thing is in action, it never goes out of incorporeal. So they can just do it again and again and again and again.
You can run the battle engine away.
It's okay, and permission, and then just...
But it can do it from 8 inches away. So at that point, it's do you run the gun? Yeah, if you just move the gun carriage, I'm pretty sure the gun carriage is speed 8, so it'll always be in range, unless you run it or charge. At which at that point, the Gremlin Swarm's kind of like, okay, this is my side of the table.
And so it's putting basically a battle engine out of the game for 1 turn.
Yep.
And this is 17 points. And this is 2 big guns and a lot of power, right? So yep. I was about to say a lot of horsepower because of those 2 horses. And I'm
you really are the cowboy there.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to use more horse-related jokes here.
Definitely. So I mean, I think this will be an interesting game. I'm kind of feeling early doors. Oh yeah, if we should do our predictions actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want me to go find out what Norbert is actually playing before we do our predictions on that one?
Sorry.
Do you want the more information? Because we don't know what Norbert...
I think on the first one, the way I see it right now is that I would say the Grymkin player is in a good position. I didn't know about the King of Nothing before, but obviously the Karianna player has nothing to go against, the clouds and eyeless sight, so the Grymkin player is going to dictate engagement, and he has his zone in his area and is going to be able to protect all the time. Yeah. So he can really make sure that every turn he's going to score at least 1 point.
It hurts me to say, being both a Grymkin player and a Khador player, but I do think this Butcher list is a very, what we always call the fair fight list. It hits you, it shoots you, it gets into combat, but it does it ridiculously well, and on Butcher's feet turn, it will just tear everything down. Problem is, it's not playing a fair fight opponent. You've got all these shield guards everywhere, so they're never going to get to shoot the thing they want. You've got the sacrifice, which is going to mean that everything gets healed again. You've got the weird, damage flying around. It's just not a fair fight. It's the King of Nothing. That said, the King of Nothing is fragile. If at any point he's able to get a lot of guns on the King of Nothing, and now I know he's got a lot of Crabbits. He's got 5 Crabbits.
The thing that I see here is that if the Khador player can just get at the same time with all of his battle engine, green and everything, and he engaged most of that stuff. I think the only thing that can really break one of those really tough you model, when I can know, because with the King of Nothing, let's just go down to 1 more 18 and that's a different game. Because I was thinking like the skin in Moan basically is going to be able to take out even green or the battle engine, but not 2 of them. Or it's going to be complicated. But with the King of Nothing reducing an armor by 2 right off the bat, and the Dreadrot having Weapon Master, so you never know what happens with dices, right?
Yep. That's why they're so good. The Dreadrots.
You spike, and -8 when the King of Nothing is nearby. Yep. You're gonna do some damage.
I mean, you don't even need to be, because he's got what's this spell? Scything Touch. So he can just put Scything Touch on them.
Oh!
So not only does that mean that they get to effectively power 12, that's +2 to everything else.
So it means that the Khador player has to remove most of the small threats before actually decided to move in.
Yep.
And because of the Gremlin Swarm, the Grumble-Kin player is going to be able to just move those here and there and be, on top of, in terms of scenarios, it's going to get more points from it. Yep. And then it's going to be, are we going to go up to turn 7 and count that, or is it going to be a lot of people dead before? We don't know. So I would say...
So it's gone back over to James.
Yeah.
He's removed 2 of the clouds, but he's left 2 of the templates there, because that's obviously the templates he's allowed. So my thought here is Is he just playing a bit timid? Is he wanting to not walk forward? I suppose you've got the problem then is the cloud wall's not very good if you can just advance into it. And I don't think, let's have a look. So what type of cloud does he have? Right, he has ashes to ashes. So
that could remove.
No, sorry, wrong one. Burning ash, which
Okay,
is the
yeah.
same. So nothing's immune to fire. So what that means is if you walk into the clouds, then that's a -2.
But that's only if you're living model, right?
Living, it's just if you're living enemy model.
So I
the
think
gun
like-
carriage.
They can move in and just destroy stuff. I mean, they're going to be affected.
Yes. Yeah.
So their speed, what, 8?
Yep.
Is there
range
8
10.
inches? Just to get into those clouds.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
it would
think they're
mean-
definitely in advanced and shoot range now. And that's quite a... Because the other part of the shield guard now is that you actually move the template, and being a 4-inch template means that how grouped up that army is, the potential of even when he moves it, it's still going to catch a lot of things. Now, being that he's got 5 Crabbits in and about there, he can obviously put it where he wants. And this is the other thing we were talking about just before, is that the King of Nothing himself has 8 Fury, but to get those 4 clouds out, he ends up on nothing.
Like the King of Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem there is he likes to be sat on nothing. If you've got something that can get around those Crabbits or blasts or all these kind of things, he will go down. He's not a very tough warcaster. I think he's 14-14. He is proper leave me alone. My favourite, he's 14-14 with 14 boxes, so he is old man stats. I mean, to be fair, he's 10,000 years old, so we'll give it to him. I love the fact that he's got Command 1 though. That's my favourite stat. Yeah, Command 1. And that's the other thing to be aware of with these Arcana as well, is that they actually they can really change depending on what you use. So for example, the one that gives stealth, that is only triggered when you kill something in their command range. So the King of Nothing, you need to kill something within an inch of him.
Okay,
So that's not really good, whereas the Heretic has the command of 10, so he's actually much better with that one. And then other ones, so for example I was playing the Wanderer, who has a commander, he's got a control area of 12, he's got the smallest of the control areas, and Labyrinth is anything that activates in your control area is -3 speed. So the problem with that Arcana is that if your opponents are already outside of your control area,
they activate first and then they're like, I don't care.
they can come in anyway and it does make a difference, and then you're engaged, the -2 speed doesn't make much of a difference. So what you'll probably find eventually is that people will actually start to gravitate towards different Arcana for different... So I'm just checking that, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so they'll gravitate towards different Arcana for different casters just because of how they synergize well with them. So it actually looks like
was
James
being put back in place, and it changed a bit in shape.
Yeah, so he's not
There's
wanting
like a
to...
knuckle thingy, right?
Yeah.
Looks like...
He's still using that. That's obviously why he took that side of the table, so he's using that obstruction to just increase the length of the wall.
So what about our bets here?
Okay, I will go find out what it is that Norbert played, because they'd not decided by the time I came over.
I can try to do... There's a lot of jacks.
There's a lot of jacks.
There's many jacks on the table, so whatever this was with many jacks.
Is that a large base? That looks like Lilith. Right, so we got Lilith.
Oh.
So that'd be Lilith 3. And then Norbert, if we have a look at Norbert's lists. And if you want to see these lists at home, don't forget they're all on the conflict chamber. Okay, I can see more. So I'm thinking that's the Vlad one. Vlad one with 2 Juggernauts, 3 Marauders, and it's the Winterguard command. Now, for me, that one, I'm just wondering which way around. I think obviously that just seems a scary game with Lilith 3, to be fair, because Lilith 3, she's got Windrush. Not Windrush.
The thing that you can't get shots.
The thing that he's got,
magical.
I'm pretty sure both of them got the same spell, where they can't be shot by non-magical.
Which, you know what, we can actually find right away, using our technology.
Which, if we have a look what's in the Lilith list, I guarantee there'll be a Naga in there. Naga Nighthawk is in there, so straight away.
Dark Prince,
everything, because it's Wraithbane, everything can be magical. So
Windwall.
Windwall, it was Windwall. Okay, yeah. So Windwall will be useful, not very useful for Vlad.
Do you think that he's gonna cast Windwall, Silent Importance, and beyond nothing?
No, I think he's going to rely on Sucker to survive in this one. Because
Sucker?
Yes, with the Winter Guard command,
okay.
you get Sucker. So I would imagine if I walked over to that board, Vlad will be surrounded within 3 inches of Winter Guardsmen. And then the idea behind that is it's kind of like the other way around. It's like he's just going to try and blow all those beasts off the table. All rockets and.
But those are beasts that usually have high defense. So, and I feel like with a Silent Importance up, it's going to be complicated to eat them, and it's going to be complicated to remove them.
So we've got a Scythian. That one, pretty sure. Unless that stays near.
You're going to eat this one first,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you got
But
Scythian.
I mean, Norbert has enough jacks to just take care of the Scythian. He can lose one and be like, I'm going to take care of it now with my Marauders, Kodiak.
That's the other thing. 3 Marauders into the Lilith. They get power 16, extra dice. They're basically power 16 weapon master
because
into
huge
Lilith.
base.
So she's going to have to be riding. I think what she can do is the Lilith player will have to ride that danger zone right at the edge of the threat by coming in, chipping away at stuff. Keep doing that each game, throwing in the Angelus and stuff like that too. And she'll probably be trying to focus down the Marauders to get rid of them.
Do you think, like, from Lilith, it's going to be better maybe just to move forward, boost damage on those jacks, and as you said, chip them away a little bit, bit by bit, or is it just better to just move forward, shoot this Winter Guard, and start to, try to find a way to get the attrition win on your way by removing all of those Winter Guards?
Well, he's got
If
2
you want to
Angelus
cast
and a Scythian.
Windwall, and your Lilith 3, if I remember well, she's Fury 5, right?
Yep.
So you're going to have to be able to boost only 2 damage.
He's got harm. He's got the Black Frost Shard. And Apparition. So we can use them in the theme to Apparition them. You've got 2 Blighting Sorcerers. So what if Norbert doesn't get rid of those quickly, they will be in and amongst the Winter Guards. They're really hard for the Winter Guard to kill, and then you can't shoot within 8 inches of them.
Oh, right.
So basically, I think priorities for Norbert is going to be to take down those Sorceresses, so then he can at least maintain the firefight. He's then going to have to trade effectively because Lilith's got the threat range. Vlad has his feet. She just has escort. So he has to time it because Norbert has to time it with his feet to go in. It means that the Legion player can play around that. He can put 1 or 2, 1 beast in threat range instead of 2.
He can, if at some point Norbert forgets to put the Windwall up, which I don't think he should be doing, but I mean, when you said Nightlurker, this thing, it could go bad pretty fast for Norbert. But basically, with the bolt thrower, if I remember well, you can on a crit you knock it down, or it's just momentum. I think the bolt thrower knocks things down.
No, it's got Shadowbind. Nega Nightlurker has crit Shadowbind, I believe.
But the bolt thrower.
Oh, the bolt thrower. Yes, sorry, the bolt thrower. Yes, I thought you were still talking
I don't
about
remember if it's crit or not. I'm going to check quickly.
I think it is crit, I believe. I think it pushes you back, and on a crit it knocks you down.
Exactly. So, okay, so this is actually kind of dicey, because if he's able, if Vlad is just hiding behind,
the thing is, he has to kill all.
Yeah.
This is it. So basically, this
way.
matchup is actually a really good matchup because each of them have an answer to each other. One has just naturally high threats. Vlad has his feet and has more heavy, so he can trade them better. Shooting wise, they both have their tag.
Just quickly, I think we are on 1-1.
Okay.
And turn 3.
Yes.
Am I mistaken? And
turn 3. Sorry,
we're talking
we
a lot about
excited.
another game that you guys can't see at all, and we actually can't really see as well. But okay, so maybe to move quickly on this one, I will give. I would say Lilith is in a better position than
Okay,
Vlad.
I'm gonna go for the old support England, so I'm going to go for Norbert. I think Vlad, if Norbert plays it well with Vlad, then we're going to see that one. Right, Kruger against Coven. I think Coven. I love the idea of it, but I do think that Coven is just too good right now. And I think the guns are fine, but I just think if Andy can just shove feet, and
The thing, if we look at the so it's the Kruger is this one, right?
yes.
Okay, so Gorehound Manager, Storm Raptor, Warriors. Okay, so those are things with high defense or high-ish defense. And the Coven, there is the spell that puts blind. Not all the
Doesn't
time.
Kruger have that? Hang on, I can't remember the wording on that. This might be important, so I will just check it. But I'm pretty sure Kruger has a spell that's +2 to defense, but I can't remember if it's just ranged for everything. So let me just check. Exhilarating TV for you guys there. So that might actually be what. That might be it. That might be. It's like the skew. It's like a weird circle Fianna skew if he's taken Kruger and high defense.
The thing is, for me, in the Coven list, because of the Ben Riders, that when they charge, they get another dice on healing.
Right,
And
okay.
because if there is this one target that has so many defense, you just say, okay, I'm going to try to quit blind you
Yeah.
with the spell I don't remember the name of.
Okay, I can see why he went for this list. Is that Gale Winds control +3 defense against ranged magic attacks. So against Ghost Fleet, a lot of it, even with the combines, even with the debuffs, if they're naturally high defense, if they're going up to sort of defense 16, 17, the swing, even with the crippling grasp and the feet, it's you're probably going to still be missing with the Remnant crew because they start at Ratfall. So yeah, I understand that, but
And
unfortunately,
it removes clouds as well, so it means you could probably remove the clouds that in the Veil of Mist that the Coven can put, and the 2 clouds that the Dark Ghost player can put in the beginning of the game. Although this means that Kruger had to be somewhere within 12 inches of the 20 inches.
he gets the +3 defense against any potential Coven assassination runs.
The way I see it is that basically the Kriegs player is going to be able to run forward a lot.
Yeah.
Coven's going to feed,
Yep.
and then the Ben Cav is just going to pick targets
Yeah.
to be like, I'm going to kill this, I'm going to kill that, I'm going to kill this, I'm going to kill that.
I think
Look,
that
my
sounds
Bens are
fair.
coming afterwards, but if I'm doing this right, there's not going to be a lot of electro leaps going on afterwards. Yeah. And we have actually, yes, we have 2 Seethers here. So it's not a Seether, it's not something that is going to be
the
going to go down.
Raptor does have some tech to that as it has disrupt on its attacks.
But the Seether doesn't really care, it just runs for free, right?
It does, but at that point, if it comes in and disrupts them, it's not going to get the focus to take it down in return.
It's
But
meta
then
8.
it's surrounded by Banes, so that's another
it's
point
meta
then. So
8, it's meta 8. You can put a spell on it to -2 armor, and then the Bane can do -2 armor as well.
Yeah.
So it's -4 on the Raptor. It has 3 initials of Theater, and it's going to charge for free. So I feel like 2 Theaters might actually be able to just, if not completely destroy the Raptor, I was going to put so much hurt into it.
yeah, it's not got many boxes, so yeah.
How many? What's the armor on the Raptor? 18?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't think.
It's, like,
I
it's
hope
one
it's
of
not 17.
it's one of the lowest I recall. So yeah, I mean it's one of those. It reminds me of the what's the big legion? Archangel. It's like the Archangel of Mark II. It looks amazing.
Yeah, everybody was, that's so good. I want to buy this, just have it on my shelf, and then I want to play
12,
it,
18.
and I'm gonna stop playing it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rattler is actually only defense 12. I thought it was a bit higher, but
Yeah. So that 15 is great against shooting and magic attacks, but yeah, it's not going to be great against a bunch of Banes charging in.
The Storm Raptor, it does those POW 10 thing,
I forgot to mention as well, the last game we had a Murkoff, but on the final table we have Ben Robinson and Wolfie, and Ben Robinson is using Karchev and Wolfie is using Butcher1.
How does that can go?
I have no idea.
I would say Butcher free though.
I don't know, I think so. I think so.
Because once you get, if you get Karchev to pop his feet at some point and you can dictate that, in the end Butcher free is kind of, it's kind of feet by itself in return. So as long as you're far from Karchev, you should be
I think
okay.
that will be the problem, is if Karchev can play it right, where he can send in his jacks. Because he's got counter charge as well, that's the thing, and his feet is perfect for...
I feel something is happening here that should be interesting on the stream to Commando, because sorry guys, the Battle Wagon actually moved in and is starting to...
just plow direct shots. We've got some damage there on a Cage Rager. Looks like that missed. Oh, he's moved it to a Crabbit. I love this. You're like, I get you. Nope, onto the Crabbit. Some more damage done. That Crabbit's not dead though. One of the things I have seen before, which you might see a Gremlin player do, is punch their own Crabbit.
Because it triggers.
No, you can't trigger it off your own, but what you can do is you can have certain attacks which you can just punch a Crabbit. It can't kill the Crabbit. You make sure you obviously don't hit it with a Cage Ranger or something like that. But you'll reduce the Crabbit down to only a couple of boxes.
So you make sure that whatever it takes.
Yes, and it doesn't lose shield guard, so as soon as it dies, that's the yeah. And then you can do your trigger, you can do sacrifice.
Okay, the Hungarian player, I think he rolled triple once. I know he was looking at the sky and now he's sang very high. Very, very loudly, sorry.
So he's not...
It's not very... It wasn't very exciting dice rolls. The triple ones, I guess expected for more. So back to this thing here, very quickly maybe to finish it before we...
Yes, so Texas versus Ostrom, we discussed that at the start. Which side are you going with?
Okay, I will go with Texas.
Yeah, I'm thinking...
Maybe.
I think it comes down to Texas Ostrom doing enough. And it can just... There's so many ways it can just not work for him.
I'll go with Butcher1 afterwards, just because I don't like Kharchev that much, and I think it might be complicated, but
Countercharge into Butcher1 just doesn't sound good, does it? Yeah, right. Let's say Butcher1 for that one.
I just feel at some point, with the right angle, you just pull the jacks, kill them, put something in front of it, then rinse and repeat all the time. Yeah. And this is something you can do with return, or Kharchev's going to have to position himself very good, and then feats to make sure that it destroys as many war jacks on the opposite side. And then, if he's able to do this, he's going to be able to take an edge on the game, be able to stay in there. But if the other opponent knows about it, and I guess is a Khador player, it's another Khador player in front of him, so he might be able to know about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to two things, and that will be how the game switches. It will be how many jacks Butcher kills when Butcher decides to go in, because if he doesn't kill enough, there'll be enough of the jacks left just to murder him, because his feet, the second part of his feet where he can't be charged, is only living models.
Yeah.
So Kharchev can easily just advance up and spray him, knock him down, and then the other jacks can just beat the crap out of him. The other side to it is if Kharchev does switch to road to wall to get the alpha on him, how many things he kills. Yeah. Because I think at that point, if he kills enough of the enemy army, and the Kharchev player can position himself in a safe place away from Butcher1, but near enough to Butcher where he can't come in on the jacks and not be within threat. Yeah. And at that point, the trade is in Kharchev's favour. So it's either way. If Butcher comes in and just wastes all the jacks, and it's literally just the Butcher and Kharchev show, Kharchev can't charge him, and he's not got anything to actually kill him, and then Butcher1 can just kill Kharchev the next turn. But on the other hand, if that goes wrong, or if Kharchev's able to just destroy the army, enough jacks, and then go back the other way. So we'll see how that one develops. I can imagine that one coming down to that one will probably be a good story either way. At the end, they'll say just went in and killed somebody.
Aside from the second game, we both agree, right?
Yeah, we do. So let's have a look. So this is going to be.
Okay, there's tough rolls being made.
Okay, so according to this, we're currently agreeing on 3-1 to England.
Oh. Damn! Wait, let me change something.
And then I'm going for 4-1 to England. You're going 3-2 to Hungary. 3-2 to England. So we've got an England victory.
In our heads, absolutely.
How it actually plays out on the table, as with War Machine, and that's the thing I think about Mark III, is that there's so much to it these days. There were Mark II days when you could literally just be like, oh, this army's going into that. There's literally nothing you can do because it's just going to score 5 points and win. So you can see certain scenarios where it was a case of there's nothing you can do. Hit the Haleys and things like that, and Denny 3 and Denny 2. If you don't know what Denny 3 is, I don't blame you. Denny 2, who would literally just be like, if your army isn't fast enough in this, these sort of the old scenarios, it could literally jam you out, just score, and then score again and win. So you could easily predict those. Where these days, I mean, even this, we were kind of saying that the King of Nothing we think's got the advantage. it's got the advantage, but it's not like the Khador player.
No,
is
because the
out for the
Khador
count.
actually found a way, like just moving forward and just shooting.
Yeah.
And that's it. But it looks like he just missed something like because we heard him being very sad about one roll that was triple ones, and I think he expected so much about this.
Also,
And I'm pretty sure he knows now that this battle engine here is probably going to take a knock-on Rager or something else with saving touch on it, and it's just going to die. And that's
also
it.
the scenario means that even because of the way the King Dolphin plays, he likes to be a very sort of bunkered caster. I mean, he can run those Gremlin Swarms over, but he's only got so many of them because when he runs them over, Butcher is actually central to that zone. So at that point, it's a case of, how to get those points. How to get ahead, because they're both going to be scoring their own areas. They look like they'll both be contesting either side, but it's like we're not going to just see this very quick. I got to 5, I win. Well then, because it has to be the 5 difference. That was my biggest.
It's going to be long. I'm just going to try to get a hold on the clock here. Because you can't really see, there's 42 minutes on the right, and I can't really see on the left. I hope it's not 25, but we've been streaming for more than an hour now, so...
Should I go do a wandering report?
Let me see. Actually, yeah, if you want to walk around...
I'll go. I will leave you with the beautiful Quentin, and we'll and sort it out.
Okay. Because it's only 25 minutes left, I think. We're starting to be in this area where there's more than 15 minutes between two players. So one of the players can actually, literally play the clock and just put things in just to contest a little bit, just to make sure, nothing's going to change so much, and let the other player have to run this whole turn again and spend another 10, 15 at least minutes to do their thing, and then that's it. There's only 10 minutes left for the end, and the player hasn't played so much. He has all the time in the world that he wants to just finish the thing properly, the way he wants to. That is true. You're all right. Yeah, all of you are right. James plays for clock as a win condition. Well, seems to be. I've seen another list with the Dreamer as a caster in the Grymkin faction where, the players actually they put a lot of stuff out there and they say, come in, try to destroy my stuff and see if you can do it. And by the time you try to solve that puzzle, because of all the Arcane Vortex and the buff from the Battle Engine behind it and all the corpses, the Skin and Moans, the Cage Ranger are starting to get very, very tough. And you don't have the time to crack that puzzle, and then you just end up being there, not knowing what to do. Okay, so Rune is going in. I think he's going to try to empty this area, the bottom zone here, try to score some points at the end of that turn. Oh, looks like there's some kind of free strike or something coming in. Yes. But that's a full column on Rune's boxes, so... So he definitely took a hit here. I guess it's a hit, probably a 9. No, it's just damage already? Okay, so that must have hurt. Yeah, only 3 boxes left. Oh, that War Beast. The weird hound thing. Punching the thing on the left. Hits with 7. There was a tough roll, and this thing is gone. Got a soul. It's... I'm not sure what... Okay, the beast is done anyway.
Yeah, this was crazy.
So yeah, good comment, but I think, as the Khador player is trying to move forward and put his pieces here, the James is probably just going to be able to react. It's going to be easy for him because all of his forces are most, in this big area in the middle, not really big area, like in this area in the middle. And he's going to say, okay, this turn I'm going to kill Ruin, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill this Battle Giant, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put clouds again, not really bother about all the shootings, and that's it. My turn is done. And then up to you, other players.
Totally forgot to check the clock.
Oh, okay. But I think it's 23.
Have you figured it out?
I think it's 23. It shows like 23 minutes on the clock.
I'm not going to look because it'll give it away.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll trust the judgment of what we can see, because if we walk over and start staring at the clock, it might change.
Like,
It might change the way that the players
things.
think. Yeah, we don't want to mess with someone's game. Okay. So what's going on here before I give you a rundown of the rest?
Well, basically, Rune decided to get in and start to do some work by himself. So he got rid of at least 2 things, and one of those was light war beast, not light war beast, like a small one, the hound kind of thing, which I
yes, the Gorehound.
The Gorehound.
Yep.
And I think the plan here for the Khador player, and I'm so afraid of saying his name that I'm actually going to butcher his name. Haha. Saba, I don't know. That is, he's going to be able to score some points at the end of the turn.
Yeah, so he only had the one Gorehound. Does he have it? Yeah, he has the Skinnermoans. So that, I think that is the Skinnermoans, isn't it, at the bottom? So that to me looks like a Skinnermoans in range of Ruin.
That is, but at this point, Rune actually took a free strike. He lost 6 boxes.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's going to go down, right?
Yeah.
So
I suppose is it worth exposing the Skinnermoans?
The thing is like, okay, am I, basically now the Skinnermoans is going to go down, try to kill Rune, I guess, that's what we expect here to happen, and then Saba would be able to say, okay, the Skinnermoans is the last only big threat for my stuff with a huge armor, I'm going to take care of it.
Oh, I don't know, Cage Rages.
Oh.
Cage Rages hit hard.
They do? It's
Yeah.
not like 16 or 17?
17.
Okay.
But that's 17 with Dark
with
Shroud
and so
and
that
Wraith
actually,
Bane if it needs it.
It could go up to 21.
Yeah.
Between the King of Nothing and the Sadly Touch.
He's got a
But
big swing.
it's 4, right? So it's not like it's going to be very... I don't know, we'll see, just in case like James decides to just rush, the Rager into the Battle Engine and just finish it and be like, yep, done one.
The other thing I was just saying before, so Cloud and Contest seems the name of the game from Andy. I can agree. Anything that comes in, he can just destroy and then just keep going. The other side to it as well is as much as people always don't like the Skinnermoans, in this list he starts with 1 corpse. Just have a look, there isn't a Nell in this list, so from that point onwards, that Skinnermoans is only armor 17, because he starts at 16.
Okay.
He gets 1 per corpse, so he's only armor 17 currently. He won't be getting any more until he actually kills something himself, because there's no way to put the...
There's no death now.
There's no death knell, so he's not got the death knell armor. He's not got. He might even be -2 if the King of Nothing is close enough. So that's Skinnermoans. They do go down. They are kind of without their buffs. They are kind of like bad circle beasts. 13, 16 is a bad
stat
stat line.
to
for
keep
28
it
boxes.
behind clouds because it might just die to.
Yeah, obviously
shooting.
Obviously, now kids, if you do let the Skinnermoans get a bunch of corpses, and he's not next to the King of Nothing and next to a Death Knell, yes, you're going to have an defense 13, armor 21 monster that can heal itself through the corpse tokens. But on this occasion, yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, we've got the Bagmen. But I don't think those Bagmen are actually going to be... I mean, the only thing those Bagmen can get something from is the Winter Guard.
Yeah, and
they're way too far away.
A quick question, though. It looks like the Mortar is going to be in the zone, so since the unit is going to be able to score.
Yeah.
So there's that. Quick question. We have 76 viewers. How many viewers is the other stream getting? Can somebody get that information for us?
I would imagine they'd probably be about 200. It's because it's views and because all the Americans have woken up and they're just happy to get amused. They're happy to get substandard commentary for fancier technology. You see, we unfortunately don't have the technology, but we have the better commentary. You see. So we're trying to make up for it.
What do they have? They have beers there. You know what? We should get drinks.
Yes. We should be arranging beers. Definitely beers for the next stream. Okay, so anyway, while this is going on, keep an eye on obviously.
They have 315 on page 5.
Okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, well, I suppose.
Cool. Goodbye.
Yeah,
it's been fine.
Nice seeing you. Well, thank you very much for our 76 then that are choosing to watch this stream of madmen talk about War Machine. You'll have to give us an insight. Are they giving more insightful commentary on the
What
the
are
Irish
they doing
teams?
that we don't do?
It's because they can switch tables.
Yeah, but you don't follow the whole action. I mean, okay, some games are more interesting than others.
And they also have 3 commentators. But they don't have Quentin. This is the thing, you know? I know we've got... Oh, Gilball. It's
more
Gilball.
info.
Gilball,
Perhaps focus on
Schmilball. It's fine.
yours.
Anyway, so update on the other tables. So we have Vlad is actually doing what we thought. He's taken down one sorcerer. The other sorcerer is right in the centre of the board, trying its best to jam into that Vlad army, which is quite important. So we'll see.
We changed the turn, right? I don't remember.
No.
Good. This is why people are not keep staying with us.
Yes.
I don't know what turn it is.
No, it's turn 4 now.
Isn't 4?
Yeah. It's gone back to Khador player, which will make it turn 4.
And they scored 1 on the bottom.
One.
And I would say only 1 on the bottom. And the colors
Yeah.
should be 2-1.
No, and they're in
yeah,
zone.
true. And they're I don't
2.
think contest 2-2, and
And
there's
the gun carriage
Ireland
is
tank.
in that zone. So they would have scored 2. That zone, bottom zone, and they've got a battle engine in the back zone. So they scored their own rectangle.
So Khador scored 2.
Yep.
And he scored only 1.
No, they wouldn't scored any. They've got the top zone contested by the Winter God.
Yeah.
And the gun carriage is touching the rectangular zone.
So we have 2 for Khador, 1 for King of Nothing. I'm missing something.
Well, no, they would have scored 2 at the end of the turn. So we should be on 3.
So 3-3.
We can ask the judge when he comes by. See, this is the kind of quality that you don't get on views. They probably have fancy things that are recording it for them.
Absolutely, you know what? We should get some.
The other thing is, John is literally sat about 3 feet away from us, so if we say disparaging marks against Muse, he can hear us, and we totally won't put him off his game.
But it's okay. Frank, excuse me, can you just check what's the score on the table we're streaming? We kind of lost track. Thank you.
So the black game. So yeah, it's kind of come down to as we thought. The sorcerers are trying to get in. There's lots of shit going back and forth. One thing I did notice on the table, which is quite important, is the Lilith list has only Blackfire shot for the units. So these big circular zones on the flanks mean that he's having to dedicate beasts. 3-1. Okay.
It's 3-1.
Round 3, 1-1. Oh, okay.
It's round 3 and only 1-1? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got this completely wrong. This is why you should not.
We need
You should
these
keep
fancy
with
things.
us. Yes.
We had the comedy value anyway. Yes, so while updating that, so what's happening is basically the Legion beasts are having to go far on the flanks, which is away from the kind of the zones, so they can kill the Winter Guard, because Norbert's got a unit of Winter Guard in each zone. So they always threaten to score those zones because they can. Whereas it's kind of very similar to how we see at the top. So it's very, very similar to how this Khador player is playing as well. And then the beasts are kind of all more central. So I mean, it's how we thought it was, and we just have to see how it actually ends up. The Coven game
is over already.
Right. There were no wolves.
Yeah,
there were no wolves. It went very quiet, so I don't want to be too loud. Right, there were no wolves left. There was 1 Reeve in a zone, and the rest were as far on the flank as possible. And then everything else in the list was hunkered down at the back of their rectangular zone. Now that, to me, is a very, very bad sign. And I've played this zone against Command a lot, because what can happen is as soon as you get 1 point ahead of the Command player, 1 point ahead, all you need to do is you need to kill the objective and score your own zone, which you will be anyway, because he's going to be scoring his own zone every turn,
and then you just
clear the 2 side zones.
And then you can score with so many things, like each of the witch. It just if the witch and the ball itself can score, so it just
So you'll probably see 1 or 2 of the jacks, whichever ones whether we can cycle Inferno Machine. We'll send in to kill the objective, because they can do that very easily, and then they contest, and then that's 1 point. You'll then see him, all he has to do is kill 1 Reeve on the right, and then that's that zone taken, because they're naturally units are going through those zones anyway. Same on the left, but I didn't think there was anything on the left anyway, and then the Coven just sits in their own zone at the back, happy as Larry, and then that's 4 points in this zone, because it's a very live scenario.
And then the circle player has to fight his way back to start the contest, but there's so many things that the Kriegs player is going to be in already.
Yep.
That he just has to clear one thing. He has just to focus on one thing, and he's going to have the models to do it.
I've just realised something why it may be that we're not getting points is that
The skin and Moans
yes, the
actually
Skin of
attacking
Moans is
Rune.
going in.
Hello, people taking pictures.
Again, pictures while streaming, it's like videoception. Right, so the Skin of Moans has gone in and killed Ruin. There must be a Gremlin Swarm somewhere in that zone if they're not scoring. I would imagine so. That might be why. Actually, yes. So there's a Gremlin at the top zone, just touching where we actually said at the start. That's exactly where it's going to be because there's nothing he can do about it. So that must be why they only ended up on 1-1. Unless, sorry, hang on. Maybe he scored it 2 at the end of that turn. Unless there's another Gremlin that I can't see.
Okay, so Rune is down.
Ruin is down. This time he hasn't activated King Nothing yet, so he must be just doing the damage, putting things in places to then see where is best to do. He's already feated, so Butcher feated that turn. I just saw Butcher remove the Butcher feat token. So that would last turn would explain why he was on 3 dice for the blast damages. Must be why he was really sad because now he's not got that feat to try and boost up the damage. So I've not seen any cards at the table. I don't know if he's got token or what it is that James has got to actually represent the trumps. So possibly maybe we saw a sacrifice, maybe he's got it now. I can see, I'm pretty sure that's probably a Crabbit that's now contesting both stones. I love Crabbits.
I think here what it means that James is setting up to trigger an on-camera next turn. Because the kind of player is going to have to deal with that Crabbit and just means, take it, and then I'm going to trigger this and that.
Just from Grubmaster, they're not all in the zone, they don't have to be, because they're never going to take that zone. There is a Gremlin Swarm on the other side.
Mortar would be, as a unit, would be enough
the water,
models.
the mortar is fine, but the Winter Guard at the top, they're not going to score.
But they're not going to score anyway since there's a Gremlin Swarm on the other side and nothing's going to happen there.
We've just been informed that he's got Muse tokens for Arcana. So unfortunately we can't read those, and I don't know if they're shaped in a specific way. So I'd imagine.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah, I'd imagine at some point when something dies and everything gets healed, that sacrifice gone. We've not seen random stuff taking damage yet, so that's his trump not there. So maybe there was Ill Omens last turn. I'd imagine that makes sense because there were so many things dying. You probably would have seen Ill Omens go down
being
to save stuff.
Do you think James is really going to go to kill that carriage at some point?
He's going to go on?
Is he going to kill the gun carriage this turn, or is it going to be?
It depends. I would imagine he'll kill the gun carriage if he's safely able to get a Cage Rager to it. The Cage Rager will kill it. I've got no problems with that, especially with Sad and Touch on, just power 19s, dice off 1. The Cage Rager's weakness is it's mat 6. So he can't hit, but the gun carriage is like defense 9. Yeah, so the thing that saves the gun carriage is its armor. The thing that the Cage Rager doesn't like to see is a high defense. And so a Cager will take the gun carriage down. Depends if he wants to spend the focus as well, because even though it's dice off 1, it's probably going to take like all 6 attacks to take it down. I mean, he's Fury 8, he's probably spending it all, so
many boxes. 38. 38. Okay. Well, so can you really destroy it in one turn?
Dice off 1, 6 attacks. It's not. And also, that would put Dark Shroud on it for Rattler to finish off. But I think you'd have to put a Cage Rager into it to kill.
I think Dark Shroud has been put actually in one of those models. I don't know what that is. What this could be. I've seen a token next to the gun carriage.
That's probably Dark Shroud. I don't think he has any other upkeeps that would go on something, because he's got his Ashes to Ashes, he's got a nuke. So I don't think he's actually got. So that would probably be Dark Shroud, because that will work. He's in melee range of the gun carriage. I would imagine we've got a Cage Rager just at the back, so I'd imagine, hang on. Alright, there we go. I'm talking about it and he does it.
So wait, so the thing is there's actually a proxy.
So he's actually, so he's actually minus 2 armor now.
Okay,
so effectively it's just
that's 6, 6, and 3, so minus 1 is already
damage.
14 damage.
Oh, the charge attack.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Then, well, I see
Oh,
a
he
double
double one,
once.
so he missed. He hits. Dice off 1. He nearly
That
rolled the
9-9.
location. I have so many people roll location against Battle Engines. So this should go. This will prove my point whether it goes down.
5. Already?
Yeah, there you go. I think it's probably already taken damage.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it would be there and not have taken damage of something already. So yeah, because it's obviously a large, huge model, you can see it through. You can see it anyway.
Other things they can see here is that there are gaps in the cloud world. I can see only 2 clouds, right? So, it's probably gonna wait. This is probably what this Crabbit is here for. So we should not talk very loud, just in case somebody doesn't see it, and then it kills actually one of those beasts, and they tell him. You can get the thing to say, fine, here it is. You can't see it anymore. I'm good. Goodbye.
Yeah. So what you can see here is he's actually just. He hasn't got the clouds, but he's just making bodies. He's just putting bodies in the way now. So the Frightmare's hurling. So what he's doing here is just hurling it. It causes, even though it's only power 7, it hurls corrosive. So if you can just, it came back at him, it missed and came back. But if it had gone forward, that's great. It just does a point of damage to the crew, and it would just instantly kill both the crew members if the corrosion stays. So that was worth a shot. And also it's a body in the way. With the Frightmare, so
Because now I feel like it's going to take the time for Butcher to just pop feet and have this whole.
he popped it. He popped it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what he did before. So yeah,
Might have been 2 only.
all games are still going. It appears.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll see how this goes, and then I'll go and have an update from the other tables if people are interested. Is it within 5 inches? I don't
That's
think
a very good question.
so.
That's a Crabbit, and the king might be. I mean, I would.
I don't think it was. I think that's the king. He's like halfway into that.
Can the
hill.
king teleport something else, somewhere else?
He can teleport. He's got a spell which kills infantry model. He gets replaced with it. It's called. I will find it.
Because that might be why. Maybe the king actually walked forward. I know it doesn't work this way. So.
Because what happens is basically if you are trying to kill. So basically you'll always see. Crabbits and stuff in front of the king and nothing. Because if you want to melee him, you'll have to kill the models to get to him, of which he can then cast, and the spell is Sands of Fate. So he can cast Sands of Fate. He can then replace himself with a friendly trooper model in his control area. The board. So you can see there you've got all those dreadrots hiding.
I can just go
So he's
back
got them
in the
even,
forest, basically.
yeah, he's even got 2 hiding behind the forest. He's got some behind the building. He's got some in the forest. The options are there. Also from shooting, you'll tend to find that he might not put. He'll not want to put them too far away because if it's just shooting, it might only need to be an inch away further. Whereas it's melee. If Moloch comes in and wants to sidestep off a Crabbit, off he goes. Same with anything. If anything comes in, he's got to be able to get out of dodge. So I think it's.
Wait. I saw something taking damage, and it wasn't looking.
I think this might be the. What's going on here now then? Oh, it's gone back over to the Kiddo place. This has got to be round 4 now. We should put round. But anyway.
You're true. You're true. You're right. You are right, sir.
Okay, so what we're looking at here.
We're gonna have to keep it more in the middle. Good.
Yeah, it's great. Right, so we've got measurements coming out here. The gun carriage. Now the gun carriage with its new, I can't remember, bulldozering swarms.
Oh yeah, every time it always does impact attacks. Actually, I have it right here.
Now the problem with it is, in this army, if he hits a Crabbit, yes, he might kill a Crabbit and keep going, but he's very unlikely to murder a light or a heavy.
There's a wasp thing that it's like an ant.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. There's a bug on our table.
We have a bug. It's a very weird looking bug.
It's half an ant.
It looks
something
like
else.
a wasp that's been on a diet. It's like a very thin wasp.
That is true.
If this thing could kill us, let us know. If suddenly one of us starts, convulsing, it turns out it was true. but it wants to be famous. Nerd famous.
And it's starting to do. I like all of a sudden we started to
clean.
commenting about the bug, and there's the game going on.
It's true, but we're, you know... It does have a big stinger, I'll give it that. Shall we squish it?
I don't know.
That's on the microphone.
Hey, do we have a bug expert?
Yeah, do we have a bug expert anyway?
Oh, it's managing its own
going the other way
business. Whatever.
Okay.
Okay, back to. Oh wait, the game is over. No, it's not.
No. Shall I go get an update on the other tables?
And you're gonna let me alone with this bug? There's no.
It's now climbing. It's trying to get onto the video. You may see a bug appear in front of the camera. If so, it was nice knowing you. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
If Quentin starts screaming, you might see a death on screen.
Where is it now?
I think it's behind
Where
the
is
camera.
it? I can't see it.
Yeah, it's actually behind the camera.
Do you remember to press record?
We did.
Good.
Software that's fallen out of the...
Okay, so I just missed what was happening, and it's a 6. And I think the gun carrier was actually shooting. Shooting, I think miss with a 3, and I think the Grymkin player just passed the clock, put the clock on his timer, and is trying to probably decide which Arcana is going to use, and this is it. I think that was the feed thing. So basically, so many models are gonna get so many D3s, gonna lose so many points, and now the King of Nothing is just gonna cast a spell and put a cloud in front of the Skin and Moan, and the Crabbit gets removed. So that's what we said just before, is that basically the Crabbit was there to contest and was to make sure that it will be triggered and the Arcana will be there, and whatever happens was going to happen. So now the Khador player is going to have to think, everything he kills now is going to trigger something. He's going to lose boxes, he's going to lose marbles if he continues shooting at stuff. So. Well, update about the bug. It has landed behind the camera, and it's not moving so far. I think it's, I don't know, it's moving, wiggling his antennas or something, whatever. And it flew away. The bug is now on the Muson Mini camera. Is it? Yeah, it flew over there. It's gone. So, do you remember the Crabbit?
The Crabbits, yes.
That was in 2000, got destroyed.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah, so I think the Arcana is the Trump Arcana, right?
The Trump Arcana, yep. So that will now start murdering models.
So he already lost.
I had a look, and I believe it's round 4, and it was 2-1 to James. I believe James.
Here?
They had the marker down. Now either that, or they've written 2-1 and they've got the thing the wrong way around. Unfortunately, it didn't have names; it just had 2-1 in round 4.
The thing is, I would like to know here what he's contesting, because I can't see anything.
In fact, if you look in the top left, there's that little it's a strange shape. That's actually got the score on. So the 2 is on the side of James.
Okay.
And 1 is on the other side. And so
Oh, is that one of
that's
the things that everybody was
WTC.
getting here?
Yeah.
I couldn't get one yet.
I really want to get one. They are awesome. These are something you need to find someone that gets them, because they are great ways of recording turns and score.
And we have a gun carrier shooting in.
Yep.
Are we going to do
Going in
attack?
exactly the same place
Absolutely.
as the last one. Didn't learn the lesson of the last
Is it going to murder the Arcane Ranger? Oh, I see a lot of ones here.
No, I can't imagine that it would actually kill it. I mean, unless it's lost a lot of damage already.
It's only power 14 on the mount, right?
Yeah.
So what it might do is that
We'll
start
see
start
when it does
working on it.
damage. we'll see how much. So what's he got? Right, he's going to bring up the. Okay, it's not taking out the anything. I can't imagine it actually. I mean, it's going to do 2 power 16 straight in its face because it's knocked it down. So it then automatically hits.
5, so he needs a 5 to hit, right?
No, he's knocked it down.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, so it's okay. So whatever.
I think he can slam it. So I think he might have slammed it. Yeah, so he slammed that back. It's not going to kill it. And I don't think it's slammed it far enough that... Oh, it's hit the objective. Right, so that's going to hurt actually.
Oh, so it's actually supposed to take another...
Yeah, so it did the impact attack. It's done the slammed it into an object, so he's getting the extra dice. So this actually might be a chunk. So this is the cage raider box. That must have been an impact on the
so
Rattler.
it's taking quite a lot of boxes.
It still has a lot left though.
Well, the question is since this thing is knocked down now, the mortars are going to be able to, fire at it, and there's going to be a couple of rockets that's going to be fired as well.
Yeah.
It might be enough,
So that Crabbit dying is really important as well, because that Crabbit is... Alright, so the Trump Arcana, it takes 3, and then what's the nearest after that?
The objective took 2, and this one took 2 and died, and it put the damage on the other one.
Yeah.
Or he can't.
No, because it's not an attack. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. I'm not checking the wording, but I think that might be off the enemy attack. Anyway,
so
just to give you an update.
To cast a spell, no? You didn't do it? Okay, fine.
No. Oh, I don't think. I think it's if it's killed by an enemy attack, and it wasn't. It was killed by collateral.
Okay.
So on the Vlad table, Vlad is currently stood behind a wall of Rinsigars in the way. There's a scrap going in one zone and a scrap going in the other zone between dregs of Rinsigard units and beasts. And there are 2 heavies one's in combat with Lilith, it was the Lilith player's turn, so obviously she hadn't died, it was a Juggernaut, and then the other one was a Marauder that was about 5 inches behind that one, so it still has to play for. I mean, the fact that he didn't kill her and he got his combat means that
this is... it was a Juggernaut, no, not a Marauder, right? Okay. Well, it
can't crit stationary, but it can still hit her very, very hard.
It's very, very hard. So,
so that one's maybe the Coven one. I managed to get theirs. They were on turn 2,
and it was a 4-1.
4-1.
So the other one might have just dropped and said.
Yeah, it's fault. I mean, the thing was, you can see it's really funny because there's a jack right next to the enemy objective, because obviously he sent a jack in to kill it. There's now another reeve in the zone. So we must have just put another reeve in. At this point, if you're 4-1 down, the whole unit has to go in.
I think they're still playing, but the way we see the table from here is that basically all the stuff from the circle player is really back.
Yes, he's really. There is that central bunker, and then on either side he has little bits in. If you're 3 behind, I would not be surprised if at the end of this turn, literally everything in the circle army is in the zones. Because otherwise you just lose. If you just put too few things in, they're just gonna be like, okay, we get 1, we contest yours. I mean, he's only 3 ahead now. So he only needs 2. So he can test, score his own zone, and clear one of the side zones.
And just run over the witch, whatever. And just actually commit the whole Bane cavalry somewhere. Just run one of the witch and be like, I'm done. Thank you. Oh, so
that one's looking a bit crazy.
There's I couldn't see the Valentine here. Just
so they're the AOEs. They're the
rough terrain now.
That is actually a bit of a problem for. Oh no, it's not. It's not a problem at all. I was about to say it's a problem for Grymkin. Pathfinder is actually normally an issue for Grymkin. King of Nothing has Battle Group Wide Ghostly.
As a spell, or
as a spell? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So he's not bothered. If he needs to get out of there, he's not bothered. They'll get out of there. It's fine.
I think we only have 7 minutes and 50-ish seconds on the clock for the current.
And it looks like James has about 21 minutes as well. So at this moment, I would. Yeah, he needs to maintain the scenario, keep King of Nothing safe. This is the time of the game when your opponent looks at the clock. They look at the fact that they're probably not going to be able to win on scenario, so they're going to start looking at your caster. which is scary. I wonder if sacrifice has been used as well, because that chunk of damage that goes on a bunch of things. You know, if sacrifice hasn't been used, it can't be used this turn because the trump went out. But if sacrifice is still available, that could be a bit scary.
Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, because the Butcher's Days right now is gonna rely on a lot of multiple attacks. So every time there's an attack, there's gonna be one less.
Yeah, and then as soon as one thing dies, in goes the.
Oh, sorry, I thought they opened this game.
Yeah, as soon as something dies, everything gets wiped, and then all that turn damage has just gone away.
But it's true, because that is true that right now that we have a lot of different beasts that have been like slightly damaged.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that James is just waiting for one more thing to die and be like, okay, cool.
He can't do it this turn because the Trump Arcana is down. You can only use
one
Arcana per turn.
Okay.
But, and this is something someone did mention. Something that you basically become immune to free strikes when you have sacrifice, because he trumps in his own turn, but in the following turn he can now just run around wherever he wants, and if you free strike and kill that model, you can trigger sacrifice because you can trigger it in any turn.
It's every turn.
So yes, people, be aware. I mean, you can do it. You can, let them and give them the sacrifice, target if you want, but it's kind of horrible. You have to really think about it when you've got sacrifice. How do you force them to kill it? So on the other, so we've got the Coven. It's looking good for Coven. I mean, I would be very surprised if the only other result of that being Coven 1 would be Coven got assassinated. But from the distance, everything is away.
It's 24 boxes on the Coven, and you can actually remove, use more than one focus every time.
They always have stealth.
Yeah. When they're base to base, I think, if I remember well. Right?
Well, the ball always has stealth.
No, but the witches,
and then the witches get
right?
it when they go base to base. Yeah. So I mean, I can see maybe if one of the witches is off doing something, they can construct some leaps or something into it to kill a witch. But you can't attack the ball, because if you get the ball, they can distribute the damage.
Absolutely. And then whatever, right? Because they can use focus from the ball. It's a 1 per witch. So even if you swing like plus 15 on them and you're supposed to do 15 damage, you just remove those 3 focus and like, nope, nothing.
It was Ill Omens for Instant Classic. We believe you used that earlier on. There was a turn on Butcher's feet turn, would make sense for when that happens. We also, so just to go through, so the Mercs on Mercs, one of the Dwarf Battle Engines is gone, and it is an absolute clusterfuck in there. I couldn't tell you. I think it's looking okay for Alex because he's still got loads of models, but. The player was 2-1 up though. The Austrian player is 2 scenario points to 1. But there's just so many dredges still on that team. So I mean,
one of the game has ended on the top.
It looks like it might have. Actually, yes. I'm just looking at this now. When I went
Butcher
over
3-1.
Butcher 3 Kharchev, it looked like Butcher 3 had taken it. There was just so many missing jacks. Although Kharchev was, I don't know either, something got to Kharchev after I left the table, or maybe if Butcher had already used his feet, Kharchev might have just came in and killed Butcher, because Butcher was in the opponent's rectangle. But we'll have to see how that ended. Ben is still at the table, so I don't know. Not sure how it's
We're
going.
missing one game. No, it's fine. No, we covered it.
Yeah, we've covered all the games.
We can go back to our stream here, where I think James is now gonna start thinking about what he's gonna do.
Did we have a win on the end table?
Wolfie had won.
Wolfie won. Yeah. So as we thought, yeah, it must have got a jack to Khador. So we were correct on that one.
So it's Team Hungary.
Yeah. So really,
one for Hungary right now.
One for Hungary, yes. How are we thinking it's going here? Are we thinking James
The thing I see right now is that there's only 4 minutes 40-ish seconds for the end player here.
25? Looks like 25, doesn't it? For James.
At this point, it's 20 minutes difference, so James can just take his time.
The scenario zones, he maybe got a point. Yeah, he's got the guy at the zone, so he's probably up a point. There's probably 2-2 now.
You mean the middle, right?
The bottom one.
Bottom one?
Yeah, because there's nothing in there that I can see.
But who would be scoring?
The gun crew.
The gun crew.
Yeah, because he's the only member left, so he would get that. So I think it'd be. They're definitely never going to score in the top one. It's never going to happen. So there'll be no scoring in the top one. Gun carriage is back in the zone again.
But the Arcane Ranger is still alive.
Yes.
Which means the Arcane Ranger is just going to do the same thing again.
gonna do
None of those beasts
exactly
are
the
dead. So
same.
the King of the Thing can just say, okay, hit one there, hit one here. You guys are full, fully operational again. Let's do this again. I'm going to kill this other one. It doesn't matter. I killed one, I can kill two. I still have the same setup here.
The other thing is, obviously Butcher is back, right? I don't think the distance from Butcher to the corner point, where the Crabbit was last turn, I don't think he's in range. I mean, he might be in advance and obliterate range, but I don't think he's in melee range. So if there is a Gremlin Swarm left alive somewhere, I would just pelt it. I mean, actually, I think he's actually picturing that as we speak. He might be anyway. I would just get it into that zone because then that zone is completely neutralized. There's no ruin anymore. So you can keep the Skin and Moans nearby. So if Butcher does come over to kill the Gremlin Swarm in combat, you've then got a Gremlin Swarm. A Skin and Moans to kill Butcher.
Thank you.
So yeah.
James can just run whatever Crabbits he has left in the middle and force to have the Crabbits killed to do anything and just be able to do the thing where he's going to heal everything else and just be like, I'm fine.
As long as he doesn't give up on. As long as he doesn't let him get ahead, that's it. The way I can see this going is for somehow he manages to get the score, get all the goals. It looks like he killed the objective as well, actually. So that might actually be 3-2. There is no objective.
That wasn't the shot that we saw because the shots were, we saw the AoEs, it was closer to that, but it's true that I don't see any objectives on that side.
Maybe it died from a slam. It's -2 armor. It's only armor 16 because of the King of the Thing. Maybe that and some other damage. If someone else.
Very good question.
What was that? Sorry, the clouds that last around when they cast on the opponent's turn, should they stay for the king's turn? I believe so. Yeah, if they were cast and they could last for a round, then yes, they do. They should last there. So that might be why. I think I can still see a ring up at the top, just by that obstruction. So that might be why that one's there.
Okay, maybe it's last year. Why is the current player still playing? I thought it was James' turn.
What, sorry?
Xamba just did something and he pushed the Rager away. So why would the Rager be...
More damage? What? I am confused.
So James moved the Rager away.
Took a free strike?
That seems
really odd.
Well, he must have a plan.
There must be a plan. I can't see what the plan is, but there must be a plan.
Maybe he's trying to get something else with the free strike and trigger, the other thing to just...
But you would want the K-Trades to be the one that gets the sacrifice and heal up.
Yeah,
absolutely. You'd want to sacrifice a Crabbit.
This is something we're not seeing here.
So we could be 4-2. Maybe, not sure.
Or something is beating up the Battle Engine.
Look, I can't see.
It seems to have lost a fair amount of boxes, probably the first line. Okay, just a couple one now.
Any other games finishing?
24, so nothing.
We're all still going. And there is still a battle engine.
Oh, double sixes. There. I think the battle engine must be on 5 boxes or something very, very light.
Yes.
But it's not dead yet.
Nope. No. But those Rattlers, power 13, power 15 with Dark Shroud, power 17 if the King of the Thing is nearby. There is a big swing available there. I still don't understand why the Cage Rager just didn't. Maybe he's moved him back for Arcane Vortex.
But
I can't see why. Yeah, I mean,
it's not. I mean, Butcher can do one obliteration. So is it gonna kill the King of Nothing?
no,
Maybe, but
I don't understand it, but
okay, boost.
there must be a reason.
Dead. Okay, so there's only one big threat here now left, which is the Marauder.
So the Marauder is actually in a place though. If the Skin of Moans tries to contest that zone, it will be able to kill the Skin of Moans. Because as we said before, the Skin of Moans I think will still just be on one token. He killed Ruin. Ruin doesn't give a corpse, so he's only going to be armor 17.
But he can survive, I guess 12 shots from the Rockets or something.
Yeah. I mean, you got.
Wait, you know what? He's going in.
Okay. He's got the threat range. He's just going in. He is only power 17 again.
I don't think it matters here. I think it's only a matter of contesting and putting a dent to the Marauder, probably killing him.
If he can kill him quick enough.
Oh, it's not so big, but it's still a column.
So second attack.
It's not a lot
It's
as well.
dice -3 at this point. I can't see that he's moved side across.
Okay, and that's not going to be a lot as well.
Four, so he's got one more attack left after this.
Yeah, but I don't see the. Oh,
That's a big one, 6.
6.
Last
It's not the
attack.
same on the right column. It's 1 and 3, it's probably 2 and 1, and actually 1, and that's it.
Crabbit.
Crabbit is going to go there.
See, this is the one reason why, and I've had this conversation with other Grymkin players, is that the death knell for me kind of, I mean, it doesn't work with the King Nothing because you kind of, it's giving an aura of +2 and he's giving an aura of -2. But the Skin and Moans themselves, as we said, if you've not got any corpses on them, they're just bad circle beasts. They're 13, 16 with, I think it's 28 boxes. So they go down very quickly.
Yeah. So is that the beast that can shoot?
Yes, the Frightmare. The Frightmare has got range. 10, power 12.
I see James was measuring like if you could get a good shot at so many enemy models. I guess it's just to make sure that not so many things are going to try to shoot at the Skin and Moans, but I don't think he did damage to the Marauder anyway, so he's probably just going to lose it to the Marauder.
I think he's got a Gremlin Swarm in between those two zones.
The thing on
Up at the top.
yeah, that might be the case.
Which makes it strange, because if he's still got a Gremlin Swarm behind that building, seems like why you'd want to double up in one zone. I mean, yes, you might get Butcher killing.
Maybe he's just waiting for, he's just putting enough puzzles on the board so that Saba is just gonna clock himself next turn.
Maybe.
Because he has a Skin Ones to kill, he has a Crabbit or something to kill, he has the Gremlin Swarm to kill. It's probably gonna take a couple of minutes from his time, and then James still has so many different things in the Rager, and the first thing is gonna die is gonna trigger Sacrifice probably, and then just heal everything else back to normal. Yeah. That's it. James is gonna put the cloud.
It does have Rose in it, yes. That's another thing, actually. I've not been able to see it since the start.
I think what's the score? You have 3-something, 3-2 actually.
Yeah. Sorry, Grub. There will be the ability to swing a further +2 with Karianna, but I can't see it, unfortunately. I've not seen that she's died. And there is no way of removing from play. So if that, I can't imagine that Saba, is it Saba?
Yeah.
Would want to actually kill her, because if he kills her, that might be her at the back of the zone.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand what's happening here. I think for sure James scored 1.
Yes.
I'm not sure if there was any kind of scoring on the other side. I see
I will
seems
go
to
have
be
a look,
contested.
and I'll try and get an update on the CP.
Yeah, it's pretty much 3 minutes 30 seconds now to 18 and 17:30-ish. So yeah, that's what we're saying basically. Now it's going to take a couple of minutes for Saba to remove the Skin Moans and then try to deal with the different things. And now James can just pick his battles and be like, I'm going to be one up. At some point, it's going to be over. Yeah, the Skin Moans is still okay. Eating, I guess, damages is going to be... It's only post 16 right amount order, so it's actually -1 if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be 5 or 6. Okay, so much more. I don't know what I'm saying, obviously. It's going to be a hit. And that should do it. And only 2 minutes 40 left. And it's going to trigger the Arcana, of course. Yeah. Here it is. Everything is going to be healed back to full. And now basically Xaba has to go, you know, he has to fight all of those war beasts all over again. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not sure the objective will kill actually, but basically Xaba just triggered sacrifice from James, and James is healing
just
everything.
Wiping everything off. So we've just had another result in. Alex against Egon with Ostrom. There are now not a lot of judges on the board, and Alex lost.
Alex lost?
Yes.
So Alex was the excellent player?
Yes, so currently that would make Hungary 2-0. So we were actually wrong with that one, but we have Norbert, who's currently 5-1 on scenario.
So it might just happen any of that turn. So
yes, and the Coven player is 5-2 on scenario, and it has things everywhere. So it actually might come down to this game, because I think this game, although you know the King of Nothing's just got his sacrifice.
2 minutes left. And Xaba has to kill everything again.
I've checked on this one, and it's 3-2 on. I don't know how they're not, whether they're not noticed, whether they're not seeing something, but they've got as their tracker 3-2 as their.
So 3-2 for Xaba?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry, guys.
Yeah. I don't understand how they've not been scoring, because we can't see anything in the zones. That would cause that problem, so I don't know. But yeah, so killed the Skin of Moans, sacrifice.
Things back.
Killed the.
And now James is using the King of Nothing ability to just put a cloud up.
We were correct as well. The Karianna Rose is that model that's kind of at the back, halfway up the zone.
Where?
Okay, so she's at the back of the zone. So with her still being alive, if you kill her, and I don't think there's any RFP, so it is just destroy. There's no RFP in that list, so if she dies, everything in the Grymkin gets +1/+1 for a turn. So, which I've actually used to my, and I'm surprised that James might not have. If he wants that big swing turn, what he can do, if he thinks he's going to do multiple things, he can just run it.
It's just 1 minute 10 seconds on the clock for
I suppose that's just the greedy Chris here. Because she's great at contesting zones and flags.
Now it's just coming in, try to prevent scoring, try to score more on one side.
So we're down less than a minute there, it looks like. Yeah, 55 seconds left. So we're probably going to see a quick turn, and he's just trying to jam up. James, I can't imagine it's going to do much other than maybe just try not to die. So it's clocked over.
Seconds. 16 minutes. The Gremlin player.
Maybe he's gone 5-2 now.
Wait. Oh, there's one. I don't know. Again, is it 4? Is it 5?
5-4 maybe.
5-4. Why would it couldn't score 1 here? Because it just got something in the zone here. So maybe it was just rewriting the same thing.
Maybe 5-2 maybe. I don't get it. I'm not sure they're adding.
Wouldn't it be like so he scored at the bottom on his own? Yeah, not here because it's still contesting there.
Okay, so anyway, back to points.
Yeah.
The thing for James now is he can't just sit back, because there are enough time there. He's got 45 seconds. That's technically 3 minimum turns for Xaba. So he has to kill stuff. He has to clear that zone. He has to contest the zones. And he has to contest them well enough that they won't be taken in return. And the problem with that is anything he sends into that back zone, Butcher can deal with. He does have Rattlers though. There are nicely spaced out Winter Guard there.
That is
so
true.
I would be very surprised if we don't see a bit of a Rattler run. We also So really, yeah, it really does come down to this list. We've got. So the Storm Raptor is still at the back of the zone. We can see it from here. It hasn't moved. It's Kruger has just been sat underneath the Storm Raptor since the start of the zone in that back zone. But there is literally just a swarm of everything. The Wraith Engine's there, there's Riders there, Banes are there. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there's also now 2 jacks, 2 additional jacks and a 3rd jack almost in the zone in that centre table. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up as a scenario win to Norbert. In fact, I think that might be how it goes. I think we're going to have.
It's over. I think they're counting points.
Yeah, it looks like it. So I would imagine, unless something crazy happened, that Norbert win his. Andy McBrenny will probably win his on scenario also. Save for a crazy assassination.
It's going to be another 3-2.
And then it will just depend now. Then no pressure, James. England is watching. So here we go. So the Rattler goes in. Now these should be simple enough to hit, being def 12. Yeah. So the def 12, which means it's 6s to hit. The one thing I love with the Rattler and with the Dreamer is that she has Manifest Destiny.
So when you go for those things, you don't have to boost, right?
You don't have to boost, which means, you know, even on 6s are quite likely, but a Manifest Destiny 6 is much better, so he's missed. Now he can now use his 2nd attack. So you basically get 5 attempts at a Berserk run. So that,
going to come here,
first Rattler
contest.
comes in, contests, kill that guy.
Oh, did he position it like just out of? That would be sad.
Oh, no,
but he was in.
Yeah, it looks
double
really
ones.
close. Misses anyway. He can buy an attack. Oh, that looks like a double
happened?
1.
Yeah, but there's the I don't know what that is, but something happened that made it die, which is weird.
Very bizarre. So that's Karianna. Kara's come in. She's enraged. So we might see the Rattler going for the objective. Oh no, Frightmare going first.
Well enough time to do this. Where is Butcher? Is it
Oh no, it
behind
is.
us?
Yeah. Right. No, hang on. What's he picking up? That is potentially a Rattler. I think that's a dark shrouded Rattler that he's just.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And so the thing here is that while he's going to try to destroy the objective, Butcher is going to have to retaliate somehow.
Yeah.
And it's going to
power
take
17.
It's going to take time. It's going to take time because if he leaves, if he let the Rattler leaves next turn, well, the Rattler is going to try to get Butcher.
Objective
Right.
dies. Power 17. Rattler goes into it.
So it's going to be over. Oh, it does overtake. Can he kill the? No, it doesn't have reach, right?
No, it's only 1 inch reach. So you've got now 45 seconds to try and kill Rattler, which is full health, defense 13. Although that's only 5s, it's not like guaranteed. It's thinking time basically.
Yeah.
And you've got Gremlins still in the zone. Trying to figure out. I think they're just Gremlins still in the zone. So I think this might be. Yeah, this looks like it's in the game. So basically, it's coming down to an assassination from Kruger, because I think otherwise it's going to Andy in scenario.
Devin, this game is not done yet.
So yeah, so Kruger's just hitting Banes at the moment in one of the zones. It looks like. I didn't see clock actually on there. I don't know whether Andy's massively behind on clock.
Playing without.
Possibly. So I'm thinking it's either going to be clock or clock or assassination from the circle player, or Andy's going to take it on scenario. Or seeing as Kruger has now just flown himself forward, possibility that Kruger just
He will try to
stabbed
finish
in
the job by
face.
himself.
Yeah, I can't tell, but it looks either a Bane or Tartarus is quite near Kruger from this distance as well. So, it's
Okay, James
really
is about to
close.
pass the time. He still has 10 minutes on his clock,
yeah.
and some points are being written down. I don't know what they are. There's probably one
42.
more for the
I
for
think
the
this might go
Grymkin
to
player,
James.
and now
He's having a
35,
think. I think that's too
34,
much.
33, 32, yada yada yada. So basically, Butcher has to kill the Rattler, and they have to kill the things underneath.
If he kills the Rattler, he can score, but it's just not going to be enough.
But
I think
he
it's-
has 20 seconds left, so it's
Hits the
you know,
Rattler.
just rolling the die and like telling the opponent, hey, you took 10 damage. Oh, he's trying to go for the King of Nothing, which is sitting on nothing.
King of Nothing's here behind the building. I don't know how he can get to the King of Nothing though.
We can hear it from here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much done.
And
It's over.
That's game to
Clock.
Grumblkin.
Clock, win by the death of the clock.
Yeah, and I think
Clock just
that's
died.
the thing. It's that kind of game with Grymkin. Sometimes they just will try and survive you out, last you out. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like that's a win. Win to. So it's 2-1 to. Oh, sorry, 2-2 to. England
So
and
we're
Hungary.
down to the
So we're
KoN
down to the
game?
last game. So it was. So this is Andy McBurney versus. I've got Zag here. That can't be right.
And Circle Blade is still rolling things. I'm not sure exactly what's happening.
So he's
But
doing damage. He's rolling
has
off damage.
killed
Kruger
quite-
seems to be in the center of the table.
yeah, and there's
Is
a lot
he
of things
going
that
for an
have been
assassination?
cleared, so I don't know.
Coven, I can still see witches on the board. Okay, it looks like he's attacking a jack. As he takes out
Either is out.
the Seether. But this does look still like there's Banes in that zone though. So I'm not sure if that was like a scenario push or if he was trying to hold off the clock and to keep him there. It's definitely been close. I'll give it that. This hasn't been. We were kind of predicting the
Yes,
4-1, 3-2, but
it does have those wolves coming from ambush, right? Because I see some of them like coming from one side.
you know what? That might have been a big change because when I came over, they all were in a corner, so it might have been they were ambushed, not dead.
So yeah, because if they mini feed and they charge and they combine by 2, that's enough to remove like a
Raptor
Ben
is
Rider.
moving.
Oh, it's
I
moving
just saw the
slightly
Raptor
forward.
moving. I know this
There's
isn't
something-
as interesting as it might be
And we can hear
viewers,
him.
but
And he's turning
there
around
is flapping of wings.
and is probably shooting something somewhere. He's shooting at Kruger. No, wait. No, it's not.
It's hard to tell the stoic face of Andy McBurney there, not giving anything away.
Well,
So that's the rider
that
gone.
last rider gone. Oh, wait, is the Rife Engine still up on
Yeah,
the left? Okay,
think so.
yeah, okay. So. Well, the game is probably gonna go to England, although we're not sure. We have a judge in the way. It's okay. Well, you'd be happy to know that another English team, England Roses,
Yep.
they won their game against Iron Crate.
Okay. How did England Lions do? Have we seen them? There's Czech Lions, England Lions. Ooh, what does the yellow mean?
I think it's ongoing but losing. So they'll be lost 2
so
games.
what's the
in
matchup
it,
there? So we've got Scorn and Thyro 1 into circle. Ooh.
Oh, it's honor check though. So who would you? Who
So
would
one.
you?
Okay.
Would you go for Richard Beach or
Yes.
for Martin Honacek?
He's my mate, so I go for
Your
Rich.
mate?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Martin Honacek.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. It's not something that's happening in this
the
room.
other thing is
but we want to know.
that like Rich has played a lot of Zerkova 1, and there's a lot of Zerkova 1
What
into
would be the thing in
everything.
Zerkova 1 that would make it good against Makeda 2?
It's a Iron Fang pike list.
So many attacks.
Lots of attacks, lots of knockdown, lots of
doesn't
clouds.
care about knockdown.
Clouds?
It jumps. Doesn't care about clouds.
Clouds will counter charge. The Iron Fang Pac-Man rule makes all the solos and Grey Bears have counter charge, and because of the cloud wall, you can put the cloud wall up
so
when you come into the clouds. They can counter charge,
true.
and then you're -2 attack.
No, I have to take a 15
And also, for a turn, her feat is no charging, no shooting. She is immune to magic spells. There's no
But you know,
other.
the cats, they never charge. They always jump,
Yes.
and they go behind you,
Yeah.
and you're dead.
That is true.
Sometimes.
Maybe
In the
they
hits.
can't. They can't jump. They can't jump if they can't charge.
Oh, so okay, so there is this time
Yeah.
where it can bite.
Now again, obviously, it is one. Oh, what's going on in this one? Everything's got serious. All the teams
Yeah,
are just sitting
everybody's
around,
just-
staring. No pressure.
I guess.
Andy is still in his very stoic position. And it looks like England have taken it, Andy.
Are you sure? Or they clapping for the other team?
Yes, there is a pat on the back from Norbert to Andy. So I believe that is Andy
So
is
it's
taking
3-2
it.
for England.
Hang on, no, I nearly saw a smile come out of Andy there. So yes, I believe. No, he's gone back to. No, there's a smile. Yes, definitely. Is a
Okay,
win.
cool. It's a
Andy
win.
is Andy is smiling. Norbert, who's your captain? Once he's done his thing, send him over. So we'll get Andy to come and be very serious and tell us how the game's
So
went.
Andy's very serious all the time.
Yeah,
He's a very serious man.
very serious.
Okay, cool. So we
No, I
try
just
to-
noticed, like, I've never really, like, I know Andy. I can't say very closely, but I know Andy, but from all the gamings and stuff. But I just realised during that game how very serious he was taking this. I mean, obviously he's the captain. He's got to be serious. He's got to represent England in this event. You know, he's now the team's now two up.
We're gonna go back to the commentator's desk.
Hey, so now you're stuck with us. So yes, so that is the end of that round. We've got one more round
For today, yes.
It's
gonna be at
yeah, it could be at 5, I'd imagine then, because they'll want to do that and then they'll do the food afterwards. So yeah, so one more round at 5. So you'll see us back here with another team. I think this one is going to be. I think this is like a North American team or Australian maybe. Oh no, Australians were this morning, weren't they?
We haven't got any North American, I don't think, on the stream yet.
So we might see like Canada or North America. It depends on, because at this point it's who is still undefeated.
Oh yeah, true.
So it's like a combination of that.
I think only US and Texas is undefeated.
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll see how that all goes. There's another clap in the room. So it looks as though
something in at the
Ireland
very
have lost, I'd imagine. So I mean, just goes to show we've got 2 games here, and both of them have gone to 3-2. The last game in the pairing. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
We haven't seen any 5-0, like nothing. No teams was basically crushing the other one.
No.
Straight.
I think the closest we've had to those crushes was in the first game. You know, we had those ones we thought it would go that way, and it did. I think on the end table, I think it could have gone either way. I think although obviously Butcher1, you know, there wasn't much there from the looks of things. Yeah. So as we said, if it had gone right one way and not the other, it could have ended up.
Hello.
Hello, come around, come join us.
I have no idea what happened in any of the other games. It's
fine, we do.
just finished. All right, it's okay.
We were watching and recording.
Hello and welcome to the stream.
Welcome
Thank
to
you
the
very
stream.
much.
Awesome. So, do you want to give yourself a little introduction to all
Hi.
the people watching?
Is there anybody watching?
There are. There's about
There are people. There are like 70 people.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm Andy McBurney, team captain of Team Knights, playing Ghost Fleet and Dark Coast Coven, so making lots of
Off
friends.
the stream now. So anyway, we've just quick matchup. Obviously, just won. Went 3-2. We had the results. So did the because one of the things that's obviously we can talk about who won and things like that. How have you guys approached your match process? Has it worked? Have you thought a lot about it, or is it more just instinctive, like how you know as a team?
We tried to go through all the lists, but there's just so many, it just didn't really work out practically. So what we tried to focus on was just spotting the really bad matchups
Yeah.
and looking at where we had vulnerabilities over the sort of team as a whole. And then, to be fair, we've probably been winging it today. But,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm very analytical. I like looking into everything, the minutiae. But with 64 teams, 5 players a team, all those combinations, you could be there forever, couldn't you? So
there are a lot of common threads throughout. So you get this common Khador lists and things like that. I think once you learn the prep time when in terms of recognising them, so of having to think about them at the time. But then when it comes to the day, you're looking what's on the table, and people change their minds in between doing the prep and then maybe playing it and things like that. So it's.
And were you happy with your matchups?
Yeah, I think that they were a really tricky bunch of lists actually. They're really unusual. So you had like Magnus 2 Mercs, there was double Khador with like Sorcerer 1, which me and Alex was absolutely nothing to do with. So yeah, I think we came out with a lot of probably 50-50s, I think, rather than a lot of.
I mean, I must admit, when we were going through our predictions and stuff like that, we were pretty much there, but we were kind of looking at it where both sides could win. They just had different ways of winning.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it looked really good. But thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Guys, got anything extra? We'll let you get back and celebrate.
No, not really.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck for the next game.
Thanks very much.
Sorry, I was
Put you on the
looking at
spot.
something else here.
Oh, sorry.
So, that's just the results here. So England Lions won, but we don't have the game we're betting on. So I was like, wait.
Come on, Rich, you can do this. I believe. Son of a beach. So, in that case, are we going to hang about?
I think we're going to stop right now.
Stop right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back with who is the winner. I just wanted to be known, after that result, that puts me on, let's have a look, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. So you are on 5 correct predictions, and I'm on 8. So,
Shoot.
caliber of what's going on. Yeah, he's the pretty one. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen.
I have hats. I must be doing it. That's it.
So, right, so anyway, guys, don't forget to come back, and we're going to say roughly about an hour. We'll be on Facebook and things like that to let you know, but we'll get the last round of the day, and then there'll be 3 more rounds tomorrow.
And are we going to do something tonight? Is there going to be any grudge match?
There
is
is the Ashes tonight, which I believe we are going to record. I'm not sure if we're going to stream or if we're going to just record the games, but there's Australia, England, which is doing the Ashes, and then I believe there's Finland, someone else, which is one of the other grudge matches.
Denmark?
Yeah. Might be. I'm not sure if they did theirs last night, but I know the Australian one is tonight. So if we can, we'll get them on here, and we'll get them obviously on the stream, or we'll just record the games and they'll all be up on YouTube. That is the benefit of this, is even though we've only got one screen to talk about all the games, except maybe Andy McBurney's because the laptop fell over, they all are being recorded and put on YouTube. So we apologise for the technical
It was
issues.
a common game.
Yeah.
Dark Horse common. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there was a Storm Raptor.
No. Yeah, to be fair, I think Andy would have just had to have gone home.
But having occurs, I don't like. Have you actually seen a Storm Raptor on the stream already?
No.
Okay, that might be it. Like,
That's it.
if
You
you're trying
have
to-
seen the miracle child that is the Storm Raptor on WTC on a winning team because they had won their first round.
Absolutely.
So
Maybe use the other list. They don't know. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a few, and we'll get beers this time. Yes.
beers are needed.